Welcome everybody here to the top 5 plays of the week from Esports U, Clutch Key, helping to bring you those top plays, so let's get things started. In Valorant, it's the Loyola Maryland Greyhounds taking on the Army West Point Black Knights, taken to map number 1 on Icebox, and the Greyhounds winning the pistol round, so it's looking good for them to go up 10-4, but with the Marshal, it's MIB Police from the Black Knights on the case.
At the same time, but that opportunity won't be afforded. D-Sung, though, could turn this into a rifle. Potentially more. MIB Police from the Raptors doing work with the Marshal and might even present a greater threat. Jumping down with the classic. Turn into a right-click hero. A Marshal in hand. And MIB Police secures a 4K. Force round be damned.
A heroic play from MIB Police, but it would be the Black Knights taking Icebox and winning the series 2-0. Let's go to Rocket League with the St. Lawrence Saints and the Bengals of Buffalo State. Down by 1 in game number 3, and the Bengals are looking for that equalizer in the final minute of the game. Luckily, Jesco decides that, yeah, overtime is probably a good thing going into the last minute.
It's hard in order to even think about getting an insurance goal here.
Oh boy, it does feel like SLU as well, just trying to play survival mode. No, maybe they're thriving instead. A good bouncer from Elmo Fingers does get past one defender. Turks moving this across the width of the field. The pinch, finding the midfield here. Good catch from Jesco, putting a shot on target as well. Jesco!
Overtime, it would go in game number 3, and actually the Saints would win overtime, but as for the series, it would be all Buffalo State taking the dub 4-1. Overwatch 2 action with the Great Danes of Albany and the Spartans of UNC Greensboro. Third map on Havana, and the Great Danes want to cap first point in just under a minute. But Magix has a trick up their sleeve, and in fact, they might have more than one.
Out of here, they want to get that kill, and they're doing it. Jesse, they are doing it. Now Magix is back on the field. Lobs Nick's head, oh my god! Showing Volks in the business end of that too. The payload is still being contested, and it's all, oh my.
Not only is Magix One a sniper, but the Spartans had a one of their own in the form of a broom, as the Spartans would go on to win the series 3-0. To League of Legends, where the Polar Bears of Ohio Northern take on the Dukes of James Madison. 12th minute in game number 2, and the Polar Bears want their second dragon. On the Kiana, though, Shomi is about to show us what robbery on the Rift looks like.
Great rotation onto this. They got the first dragon. They are likely to pick up the second here, and the Shomi can somehow make this work.
Well, they're trying, and over the wall, they got a ward and said snipe. And the steal! The steal from Shomi said you only...
Dragon stolen, and even with the kill lead, the Polar Bears also got that stolen away. In the end, Dukes would come out with the dub 2-0. Let's head to Overwatch 2 action with the Aggies of Utah State taking on the Rams of Colorado State. Down a map on Nepal, and the Rams need to make some sort of comeback to force map 3. Well, a crazy team fight leads up to why Death Trap lives up to the tag.
You're going to be in a great position. This Dragon Strike might be able to create some separation, but Cass is just taking heads.
Cass rolls the head of the finish right now. There's the Terror Surge. Is he going to find anything is the question. Immortality View having to be used. This Death Trap finds a triple. Oh my goodness. Death Trap finds a fourth. He's going to find the team kill. It's now the Rams would force map number 3, but the Aggies were too strong for the rest of the contest, and the Utah State Aggies get the sweep 3-0. To Summoner's Rift in League, where the Aztecs of San Diego State take on the Spartans of San Jose State. Game 1 and all the advantages to the Aztecs 30 minutes in, and Devourer on the Caitlyn makes sure it stays that way to march to the base.
Half health. Actually, with the Chaos Storm dropped as well, that might be the go button as everyone follows the rock, and it's not going to be enough off the outset. Goku shut down in the back line, and it's all falling apart for this fight that San Jose chose to take. The ADCs are all together. Piao picked up a kill on the backside. Tabula Rasa's surviving forever. Eventually,
the Aztecs would go on to win game number 1, but something clicks in the Spartans, and San Jose would win the series 2-1. To Valorant with Andromeda taking on the University of Houston Scarlet team. Map number 2 on Fracture, and Andromeda wants to push A-site, but Binko is sitting around the corner, and even with little to no utility, Binko just finds a way to make heads roll.
1-for-1 trade, make it 1-for-2 as Slorth takes down Altier, trying to trade for Orchid. Binko now trapped in a corner. They're shooting out the Prowlers, and there's not a lot of places that Binko can go, but now only Slorth being the one peeking. Oh! Binko, what was that?
Binko calls bingo on the ace. Be Houston who calls game on Fracture as they win the series 2-0.
To come through, it's just playing aimbot.
And that's it from top plays of the week from Esports U. Thanks for watching, everybody, and until next time, this is Clutch Key signing off.
I can't say that. I'll get in trouble. There's one for each game, so teams this weekend, somebody's going to have to explain to TSA why they're coming home with an extra trophy. Fine. We're fine. This is going to be great. Why is everybody staring at me? I'm not even doing anything yet. Is it because I'm in a suit? It looks nice. It's new. I'm stressing. I'm stressing. It's all right. We win these. We absolutely win these. I've never seen us lose these. I love him. I don't remember his name. What is going on, everybody? And oh, we're ready? I'll start over. Okay. What's going on, everybody? We are here at the Collegiate Esports Commissioners Cup 2022 in Atlanta, Georgia. The players are just now entering the arena for day one. A lot of them had the opportunity to be here yesterday to get jerseys, to get familiar with the area, and to get to know one another. But today, the friendly gloves have to come off, and they are all here. Earlier, I was talking to these guys. This mannequin, when they didn't have anything else set up, I could see it from all the way down there, and I thought it was a person. And I stood there for like 5 minutes, and I was like, why is he standing like that? And I thought it was like a smooth criminal. I thought somebody was giving us like a Michael Jackson impression, and then it was a mannequin. I was really embarrassed to admit that. Oh my God, that's a lot of people. Hold on, let's go over this window. Let's go over this window. It just keeps going. There's so many people outside. There are so many people outside. We're gonna interview people when they come in. I don't really want to go outside. It looks like it's gonna rain, and the suit is new, so. Oh, there's Doc Haskell. Hi, Doc. How are you? He brings a full notebook with him and like writes notes down. It was pretty insane. He had it yesterday. He's going to be coming through this metal detector right here. I don't know his name though, but I recognize his hair.
Jen.
You're Jen? All right, we're going to interview Jen, who's supporting Kennesaw. I'm going to ask you like a couple of very simple questions. Okay. Are we ready? All right, great. College. I really like Georgia College's color scheme. It's just red, white, and blue, I think, but I think they did it in a really clever way. Mineral area wearing hoodies, even though it is 75 degrees outside here in Atlanta, Georgia. Absolute legends.
If only Nick could hear you. Nick, come back.
If he's over 100 feet away, he can't.
You were whispering something, and he started smiling. I'm like, are you whispering?
Oh yeah, because he's got his headphone in if we're close enough. But
Bless you.
Gesundheit. Gesundheit again. You're welcome. I'm gonna go find him. Oh, there he is. Oh my. Oh, okay. Real stuff is starting. Real stuff. Competitive integrity needs to be upheld. We gotta get out of here. Yeah, I don't want to get in trouble. I get really embarrassed when I get yelled at.
30 is
Okay. Wow, it's not 10:30 yet.
It's only like barely 10.
Woo! All right, it's gonna be a long. Hey, what's up? Surprise interview. Join me over here, though, so we have a cool backdrop. What are we here for?
Rocket League.
Awesome. I'm not going to ask what school you go to because unless you swapped hoodies, that seems pretty clear.
Nope. You know, I got my jersey on with my name on it.
Oh, you do? Show us your jersey. Look at John T. Turbo here.
Yeah,
that's not his name. I just keep calling him that.
Yeah.
His name is John, but
my name is John Turbesi.
Yeah,
that's
not John T. Turbo.
Yeah, I get the message that I'm going to Nebraska where I met you.
Oh, that's so crazy. So context, if we're probably not going to use this, but I want to talk about it. Turbo and I met at a LAN like over a year ago. That's so crazy. What is going on, everybody, and welcome back to the Collegiate Esports Commissioners Cup. I am Sebdolence, joined by a man I have interviewed probably well over 10 times. It's going to be my good friend Neb, here from Bay State Overwatch team. Neb looked at me before he started his last series, and he said, we are not dropping a map for the rest of the day. And so far, he has lived up to that title. But Neb, is there anybody you're thinking, we've got to get them out of the way, we've got to take them down?
No.
No? Just looking at it, each fight's its own, every game, going into it, just taking it as it comes?
I have the confidence right now that we're not going to drop a single map.
I love Neb because not only is he confident, but he's correct. Bay State is one of the best Overwatch teams I've ever seen. So it's always good to hear. I love the confidence, and I love Bay State, so I hope they do a great job this weekend. So what qualifier, did you win a qualifier to get here?
At-large bid.
We're looking at Rocket League, we're thinking high odds, low odds, where do we think we're walking away?
I think pretty high. I think we're doing pretty good.
Is there anybody that you're looking at, you're like, please do not let us go up against them unless we absolutely have to?
I mean, really, everybody's good competition, so.
And sorry, what was your name?
Ethan.
Ethan from Mineral Area.
Yep.
Very exciting. Well, Ethan, good luck.
Thank you.
We'll see you soon. What kind of pass? A player pass?
Let me get you a lanyard.
No, you actually have to like tape it to your chest, like really awkwardly with masking tape. Okay. And it's gonna fall off. Yeah. It's gonna be uncomfortable, I promise. That's a guarantee. Okay, cut that, I'm gonna sneeze. Okay, good. I'm great, everything's good.
Who do we interview? Who should we interview?
I don't know, I'm just here. I need caffeine. What is going on, everybody, and welcome to the ECAC Top Plays of the Week. I am Sebdolence, and I'm super excited to walk through these with you so you can see all of the great moments we are getting out of collegiate esports. One of my favorite things about these seasons is as they go on, as the years continue to pass, the skill ceiling just gets higher and higher, and the teams get better and better. Starting things off in week 1 and 2, these teams came out the gate swinging. Let's take a look at what they were ready to bring out in these early weeks. Valorant is a game all about risk versus reward, and Sin from NYIT wanted to show us just how much he was willing to risk to get that great reward of a round win.
Sort of forced to pop off, maybe get a little bit more sniper play, but these direct tight angles make it tough. You have Axeris that actually gets a wall bang headshot onto Prime. Oh, that timing on the paranoia works so well.
Yo, give it up for the util, bro. Sin's gonna pick up 3 into the site. It's a lurk on its way from the chamber, but unless you're going to spam through this box, you're not getting anything.
We're at the Collegiate Esports Commissioners Cup. Let's make some noise.
Oh, and it's gonna
jumped into it.
This corner judge is good for 1, 2. He needs more. And
They're doing even more here. You gotta touch the point. Mr. College walks it in.
Toy Boy is gonna drop.
Knife him.
Right out front.
Yeah, 3, 2, 1, running.
Hello, everyone, and welcome. It is a big night here as we go into the ECAC Spring 2023 Valorant Finals. My name is Sam Tonks. Joining me over there is Hail Monkey Man. And Hail Monkey Man, I think we're not very surprised here when we take a look at the two competitors that are going to be going against tonight. That being Fisher Esports versus Cal Poly Pomona Bronco Esports Black.
Yeah. Both these teams have been winning a lot across both sides, opposite sides of the bracket, and both these teams have proven that they want to be here and they're going to be here, and they're both fighting for the top of ECAC. Fisher, you pretty much say Fisher in collegiate esports, and everyone knows they better be gone fishing because this team is going to roll through you. Depth in this program is pretty much well known. They dominate so many different titles coming in tonight. They're the #2 power ranked team in all of VAL, so they're trying to make sure their conquest stays consistent, and they've only lost one map in all of ECAC across this academic year from fall to this spring, and that was in last time's finals. So this time around, Cal Poly Pomona, the Broncos, they better be ready to run, but they got to be running fast in the right direction.
Yes, they do have to be running fast. Now, to give a little bit of credit to the Broncos as well, they've had a pretty good time inside of at least this spring series, right? They've pretty much been undefeated, finally suffering their first map loss. Not even game loss, by the way, but map loss here in the playoffs. That was in their last matchup against USF Valorant Gold. And so this is also a team forged through a litany of different matchups, and to be able to come out on the other side almost as good as Fisher Esports, sort of the kings, right? Or the incumbent to the throne is right there. You really do have to wonder what this team is going to be able to bring to the table against Fisher, and I'm going to guess it's going to be a lot of heat.
They have to, and they have to do it early and often. Let's go ahead and check out where they're going to be running with all that heat. It is best of 5 tonight. We've been doing best of 3s for the duration of the season. This time around, you have 2 extra chances and choices, but will we make it there? Surprising to us, we will not see Ascent. We will not see Split. Split had come back with a few changes going into this most recent competitive season, and it was looking pretty great, and a lot of teams brought it on, but we've gotten rid of the quintessential map and the new girl on the block. In lieu of that, we will be going to Haven, Fracture, and Pearl as our guaranteed first 3 maps. And look at the other end of that walkway. You have Icebox, who pretty much has been given its swan song, but it's going to be at the end of a best of 5 if we can make it there. I think everyone's saying, you know what, leave it to the end. We're done playing with that one because Bind is actually back in competitive rotation. But these first 3, your first one is definitely part of your collegiate classic, and then it gets weird from there.
It does. Yes, it does. Well, I mean, Haven to start things off, though, right? We're going to get in the... when we talk about Valorant maps, right, Haven typically enters the equation. Right. Ascent is a part of that, but so is Haven, in my opinion. One of the most standard Valorant maps, one that I think a lot of our teams understand, and obviously one that Fisher feels very comfortable on, hence that being the map that they decided to go with first out of all of these options. And when you have a best of 5 series, right, Monkey Man, especially when it comes to longer games like Valorant, where you have these moments of endurance runs where you need to be able to stay mentally strong throughout the entirety of these series. Starting off with a really strong map for your team is the best choice. And we've been seeing, and then to go into our next map of Fracture, we've been seeing Fracture sort of cropping up in the collegiate scene a lot more lately. A lot of teams are really getting that understanding of, hey, Fracture is actually a really good map to be able to play around with. as long as we're going out there, taking a lot of space and taking the fights. And for these teams, right, these high immortal radiant teams, that's where the comfortability should be at all times. There should be no hesitation whatsoever. And then obviously, you know, going to Pearl, and Pearl, well, Pearl has been a interesting case study lately in B site takes and long sight lines and how well you can play around those.
Yeah, this one has been interesting because it's about the controller play, and Pearl is more about that cerebral, can we bluff someone out? Can we be able to get rid of a squad? You get to see the Viper Harbor combos, Astra combos that really worked well to that, is just being able to kind of dissect that site. And I think that that's been a very good boon as well, bringing in one of the newest agents of Gecko. So get to see maybe as well, because we are playing on the newest patch, so there are some audio changes as well as a little bit of incentive to get rid of all of the extra gadgetry that Killjoy also brings to the market, because everything's louder and everything's brighter, so they're going to be able to get rid of maybe those swarm grenades. But let's all bring it in. Those are our first three, and maybe the only three, depending on if one of these squads is able to make a sweep of it. It is a best of 5, so the first to get to 3 will be able to wear that ECAC crown. So we're going to go into our first agent select. Broncos, they're going to be attack first. Opposite of them is going to be the Falcons of Fisher, looking at that defense. When we look at Haven, execution marks are cool because this one is fairly attacker sided. I want to see if the Broncos can start off with some good momentum, really get the Falcons to maybe question themselves, but everything seems fairly standard. It's going to come down, I guess, maybe right now to some of that controller play, and we're already in opposite of each other. Wants to float in.
It's typically something that you see, right, when it comes down to the controller. Usually one team goes Astra, the other team goes Omen, and that's how it's been for a lot of our maps, except for standard ones like Fracture, where you see typically both teams go Brimstone. I like the idea of Astra. I also like the idea of Omen. Both of these agents play, both of these controllers play really well on this map. I just think Astra is going to give you that little bit extra, and especially when in the hands of Fisher, being able to use things like the gravity well, right? Being able to play it for long, or being able to deny some space and pull them back in. Those are the things that you get out of Astra. Now, when you take a look at the Omen, right? Omen also has their ways of being able to counterplay. You can step into the shadows, go over to the other site, bring the spike with you. Maybe be able to throw Fisher off of their game. Could be something that the Broncos are looking at here. But really, those are the only two differences between these teams. Everything else across the board looking pretty similar.
If there's anything I've ever learned, is that a smart and very efficient Astra player is a demon, and they should be exercised. They need to go away, because just like you're talking about, those wells, those nebulas, they can be tricky, because, you know, I was just trying to get an Astra myself, especially a bit on Pearl, and seeing basically it's a pop smoke that goes away real quick when you recover that star, say you just wanna, it messes with your sightline, be executed around. So get to see how much of that will be into the setup, but it does look like that we will have some early combinations. Killjoy as well as the Astra hanging out on too long with 2Z and Rex Gator. And it looks like at this point they're going to be playing more to a mid execute. Wonder if they're going to be popping down into garage, but they're just going straight into mid. Why not?
Why not? Just go full speed ahead. That's a problem when you don't clear 4 corners like that. How did Logan survive that long on top of the crates, and then Dory coming up in through Link? It starts us off with a quad kill for the Night Monkey Man.
Was that 15 seconds? I think that was 15 seconds. I mean, someone go get the referee, bring back down the stopwatch, because I think that was 15 seconds. So that was very, very quick. So it was an idea. Go up mid, see what you can do, but no one looked up and cleared any corners. I know it's a pistol and it doesn't have great range, but, you know, get rid of Casper's ghost up in the attic. Otherwise, they're just going to be able to rain down at least the tiny little 9mm bullets down upon you. So quickly, the Broncos come out the gate stumbling.
The pivotal thing about that, too, is that Logan was kind of a distraction. That Dory was able to come in and wreak havoc throughout the entire line of Cal Poly Pomona. Now Rex Gator inside of Garage all by themselves is going to use just that little bit of extra turret space here. Ooh. But Cal Poly Pomona forcing out the buys here with stingers and things like that is going to win on that battle with Rex Gator. But still, even through all of that, they're going to watch out behind them, because walking up is Chloric. They had to have heard that. But once again, it's a bait and switch maneuver that Chloric and Logan were more than ready for. Cake and that Stinger is putting in the work inside of middle, but Logan's Frenzy somehow outranging everything. And Monkey Man, Fisher, what are they doing right now?
Oh man, they're doing the right things. They're able to just corral in. They recognize the early buy-up force, and they're responding to it well by cutting down on space, but also consistently playing around it. You'd have that coverage. You were talking about Dory being the main killer off of round number 1, and was coverage for Logan. Well, Logan did the same thing as Cloric was basically sending the Owl Drone, acting like a fledgling Sova just out in the grass. Oh, what is he doing there, Sova? And then, boom, headshots coming into the temples. They just rush him down, take him down, and Logan was able to get 4 into that round. I think it was actually 3 because they found 1 in the first. But either way, Broncos just kind of being straight into the hands of Falcons, and that's a quick headshot. Logan does find Mikey.
Logan does find Mikey, outranging the Vandal, and still up there taking these fights. They finally fall, but it's just Haram left with 15 HP. They're still putting in the work. A double kill now, but Cloric, some jungle peeking, and some killing with a wall bang. Fisher seems very unstoppable right now.
Fisher are currently the, I mean, not the kings, but at least one of the higher royals and nobles of collegiate Valorant, and they know it. They come in with a program that's very, very strong, and they know that they want to be efficient through this conference final. ECAC has been just privileged to be able to see this kind of squad come through, and the Broncos, you know, they're maybe feeling a bit hasty, trying to be able to get some of this repetition into themselves if they can. Got to make sure that they bring what they had out in ranked and move it over into private to where they have to execute. And so it does look like that we are going to gamble bundle our way up in Long C, but look at this, just they have to parade themselves through all the swarm grenades. They're being met by the alarm bot. Rex Gator and the gang up on top of mid box. Logan finds yet another, and all of the horses will fall one after another. Parade, and the horses just kind of ran away.
Sorry, I was blinking. Did I miss a round, Monkey Man? What, did something happen?
We're actually in game 2, so...
Oh my goodness. No,
I know.
But no seriousness here. The way that Fisher is playing right now is unbelievable, undeniable. Look at Logan and Dory, right? Both 7-1, already have their ultimates ready to go. Cal Poly was kind of hoping, the Broncos were kind of hoping to be able to run off with Haram's Hunter's Fury, but it was just nothing to be found. There really wasn't. And now they're going to try this C-long strike once more. Maybe be able to find 2Z, and a really good way of doing that, flushing them out, using the shock darts to get the headshot on them as they're trying to readjust. They're going to be able to take sight, but Rex Gator is deciding to get the corner. They're going to use the swarm grenade to cover themselves, and now stuck inside of that rolling thunder. The Broncos had to use so many ultimates to try and even have an inkling of standing up to Fisher.
They still will get that plant down. And this is one of the few that finally the Broncos are at least planted on site and looking to cover their flanks, but they have to work against Logan, who's trying to press straight up into it. See that leg, too much pants. That's gonna be a first KO. Love that new weapon skin. Gotta get it for myself as well. Neo is able to at least take care of Cloric. It becomes a 1-on-2. Logan saying we haven't lost one yet here into this first map. Not gonna let it be that easy. Gonna spin on 2. They're gonna be able to get the spray down, and now they have no idea if they're right behind box or otherwise. They're gonna be able to peek right around. They find them. So much patience. Logan will have maybe just enough time to get this one down and done. They get the defuse with 1.33 to go. And Fisher things right now, man. Fisher has just been so efficient. Look at the heart sign. It's cute.
Hang on, I gotta play my gun real quick. The new arcade skin, very nice. Great. It's lovely. Now Logan sitting at a pretty 10-1. It all just comes down to like Fisher being able to recover very nicely, even in moments where you think they shouldn't be. And Logan and Dory are kind of the ones to make that happen, but expert maneuvering to realize that, all right, if they're going to be here, then if they aren't there, if they're not inside of garage, they made their move yet, then they have to be around this box. Logan has a read exactly on how things are going to work from the Broncos, and not only do they read it, they memorize it, they learn from it, and then they destroy.
They also, I guess, kind of practice aiming onto their teammate's skull, because why not? Holding that very tight angle as well. Dory's able to get rid of their doppelganger. They get and find Cake, but they finally are traded by Neo. And you do have this flank. It's timing outside of B window. as they have no idea that Logan's was coming, except when they turn right around. It's a bit of a horror movie, but they do catch Logan getting a bit too aggressive into this 3v3 we go. Spray down in and out of the Nebula, and right now the Broncos have an opportunity with 50 seconds left to maneuver, but this is a great read. You have the 2 remaining for with Cloric as well. Just for the Falcons, they come right over onto site, and they're going to try and get there, but they actually get there just a step too late, so now it's a very rough one. Operator in hand. Will there be a dial tone?
Looks like it might be. Tuesday through the wall. Gotta make another one happen. Inside of their smoke, they're gonna walk through it, but they saw him just in the nick of time. They're gonna whip out the knife. Monkey Man, it was a valiant effort. Cookie Monster had to see their life flashing before their eyes, but Tuesday just couldn't quite get the last stab, I guess you could say. Now, for their efforts and for their first round 1, they're rewarded with an operator. Tuesday was able to get 2 kills out of that, or 3 kills rather, or 2 kills rather. It was kind of a rare misstep there for Fisher, but you know, the Broncos being able to find their first win, and this might be able to begin their momentum shift once more, because things are looking good economically speaking. They need to win this round if they want to have that comfortability going into the next ones.
They really do, and especially at this moment, because at this point you drop 2 of your rifles, especially when you're able to already at least get 1 player off the field, and then otherwise you're just kind of waiting. So they've tested B before, this time with actual guns. Logan's just chilling, playing in the corner. That's the kid that you want to borrow the handheld from back in like the early 90s, and they're just not sharing. They're actually going to step up into that dark cover to see if anyone starts to peek. They're just going to wait. As soon as they see that gun tip, they will be firing too. Logan has just been such a lethal bully about anyone that tries to encroach on their space. We got a minute to go, and this one seems to be kind of an A push, but look how deep Dory has moved over in sewer.
I don't think they're going to be none the wiser. Hopefully the Broncos have learned from their mistakes. Make sure to check and peek those corners. But even with that round 1, the Broncos are being very cautious. Mikey is about to make the biggest mistake of their life. Dory's the patience from them. You cannot tell me that Dory didn't see this one coming. They knew that Mikey wasn't by themselves. They weren't going to leave the operator player alone. And then right in front of them, Cookie Monster is just a TPing Omen wrapped in a bundle for them to be able to get the headshot. Now left all alone is Neo. Logan spraying and praying, going for it and getting it. Fisher may have had a slight stumble in that last round, but they've come back a roaring, Monkey Man.
Oh my goodness. What's it? It's not Hodoken. Soryuken! Right there for the last, oh my gosh. Not clearing that one tiny corner. It's a half wall corner, so you don't expect too much there, but just considering the trigger discipline out of Dory, who's at 12 and 3. Logan and Dory are taking turns, taking the lead right now onto this this KD feed. And it's again, another rough position. You do see Haram going into a hero rifle. Not exactly sure into that buy, but they're gonna play around it regardless. And it seems like they want to play fast. When they've played slow, they've been able to kind of slowly bleed out deaths away from Fisher. Bladestorm has popped. Mikey has to find one against Logan, but Logan just doesn't drop.
Logan's too much of a formidable opponent in this back site. Now it's going to be Cake trying to use the Aftershock to buy themselves some time to actually even be able to plant that spike. But before it even happens, Logan up in the air with their cape like Superman. Neo gets a couple of kills using that Sheriff, but it's only going to be a couple before Logan walks up with their quad. Fisher now looking at 7 rounds won to the Broncos 1.
And Logan back on top. Those two are in a foot race all their own. Everyone else is just having a good time vibing behind them. You will have Tuesday with an operator, because why not? Astro with an operator seems right. And it looks like that we are primed to go back to B. That one was a rough round buy in the first place for the Broncos, as they just had all of the single Vandal and there wasn't a lot of firepower. So one, they're not expected to win, but definitely something that has to be adjusted to. They're leaving that spike behind. They got to see if they can be able to execute, turn this into a just a full-on death match. See if anyone's going to come up and, you know, challenge them at least. The plant will go through. And because of that, they've recognized from those audio cues where they got to encroach. The lockdown expended does also create a bit of a rough situation for the Broncos, because yes, the plant will get down, but they have to go back to safety and window.
Oh, Mikey gets detained. that could also be a good moment for them. No, it's not. They were stuck inside of a corner. No one can protect them. Walking up through that back line. It's just Clork cleaving through everyone. Seemed like they got there at just the wrong second. Kind of curious as to what was happening. Missed out on all the action. So though, Fisher. You know, sometimes Monkey Man, when we're doing the analysis, right? Sometimes it just comes down to Fisher. Fisher aim good.
Yeah, and that's aim I don't have. Also, they don't have an antsiness about them. They have a calm to their play. Like we saw with Dory, just kind of waiting, seeing it go on by. They don't bite at the first cookie crumb that falls off the table. No, they're very well disciplined, well trained, and they just kind of peek around, see if anyone else is there. Cool. Okay, we'll get the one person that should have been overwatching, and then we get the person that's obviously a sitting duck. And at this point, it has been a easy shooting gallery at the carnival, and everyone is ducks on the side of the Broncos. So, Cal Poly, Pomona have all of the one. We're nearly through our 10 rounds to start off of this ECAC final. And Fisher, whenever we look at this this pick situation, this one was actually Fisher's call. They wanted to do Haven first. You were talking about this being like a standard map. They're very well practiced at it. Pretty much perfection, save one.
Pretty much. Practice to perfection, ready to go. Fisher trying to decide where they want to go. They're aiming at the regular spots now to send out the second of the Hunter Fury bolts, but that's really all that's going to be found. Here is the Broncos' usage of their own lockdown. Baram in the backline to try and protect, but Logan is going to take them on to that 1v1. Cake with a couple of aftershocks. One there, comes in with the dash. Looking for the second one, but couldn't quite make that happen. Mikey is going to win here. So now it's a 3v3, and things are still looking good. Caught inside of the Paranoia. Rex Skater couldn't even see their death coming. Now it's the 2v1. Poor Clork has to try and do what Logan did at the very beginning, but now the way that the Broncos can play here is just for long. Give them as much time as possible, and you can see what happens there. Coming inside a garage, the Cookie Monster. Nom, 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 nom.
A few extra cookie crumbs falling off the table, and I'm sure those will be swept up by the monster themselves. So job well done as Broncos are able to find at least a moment of respite to get themselves another on the board. Are there going to be two operators? Okay, we're just kind of flexing the bank account right now. All right, Clork is going to run away from that one. I don't mind the investment as long as it hits the shots, but for the rest of this game, we will have another rifle round. Not the best when it comes to full armors, but otherwise they've been really kind of testing the midpoint of Haven a lot. The best we could see is an 8-4. You will have that operator down lane and long C where the majority of gadgets as well as extra util for this situation comes in. That was a great scan. Logan finally gets body checked, and so they will have B for free.
I love that. Especially from Haram realizing exactly how everything is going and where they need to learn and figure out the adaptations. Caught inside of it. Rex Gator actually gets away with their life, but hearing the footsteps coming up, they're gonna look behind them just in the nick of time. Clork is still fighting out in mid. Holding in this corner is gonna be very vital. Cake needs to realize that they can't do this alone, but Rex Gator is gonna come up. Not gonna win out in that duel, but you know, that's what a shock dart is. To shock you into another round for Fisher.
Okay. That gets done. They will have another defuse. This one was looking a little bit better in favor of Cal Poly, but eventually it all ends up the same way. So I like the idea. I mean, it's kind of a solo rolling thunder. It's one of those where you're just very frustrated. You see him turn around, and of course, when you're trying to take advantage of Rex Skater, who's taking advantage of you moving out from garage to be able to take over from that B push, and then you're like, you know what? This is too big for you to run away from, so good luck. And for them was Clork, just for all of an extra moment, and that did slow them down on the initial kill, but that one ran away from them. 9-3 curse is going to have to be activated, a little bit of extra voodoo, black magic, whatever you can for Cal Poly. They're going to look at this one as a pure default. They played into the previous as their gun round. We'll trade fault lines. Sure, everyone gets a headache.
Everyone gets a headache. Nobody's seeing anything. Concussions are very dangerous. Remember that, everyone. Another aftershock to slow things down once more. Dory is still holding this very strong position that we've seen them in sewers. Rewarded with the one. Cake is there to trade it against their mirror. As Logan still hangs out, observing and seeing if that push is going to be materialized. In all actuality, no, it's not. As B-Site is being poked and prodded for the moment, but RexGator and Fisher, they're all over. They're defaulting on these angles to make sure that things are going to be protected under their watch. And if Garage is going to be attacked, the turret will give the information that someone is going through there. Now, that recon dart, RexGator hiding a couple of shots, but Ram not to be found. Still walking their way through. Dangerous move from RexGator. It's going to, or Neo rather, that's going to cost them their life.
That was a great bit of covering fire. Logan is... Oh, my goodness. Okay. Thank goodness.
Jump scare.
Someone finally sees the kid with the Game Boy and puts him down. But you do have a Nebula out, and now they're going to be looking to get this one defused. They also have a free defuse. You got to walk into it. You will have the Aftershock on the post, and they're still going to be able to stick it. The kill does come out. Tuzi commits to it, and Clork finds a third. And that'll be the first 12. Fisher College, 10 of them go their way, and I love that they kept the Cosmic Divide till the very end. They knew that they weren't pushed, they weren't pressured. They simply were like, all right, get through this giant kind of nebula wall. And I've never thought about the idea of planting for front and going off that Aftershock. That was very smart from the side of the Broncos, but we have to reset. We have to get to a defense that they have to find 10 in this half for, and that's before Fisher just gets 3.
Tough ask. Especially considering that Haven is a attacker-oriented map. And with the way that Fisher has been playing, nothing short of the stuff that enters your nightmares, Monkey Man. That's what Fisher is composed of. This is a team that's ready to show up and show out to prove why they're one of the best. Logan's already putting that into great effect, shooting inside of the smoke. The Cloudburst is Neo, but a quick paranoia is going to blind them out once more. Still able to get one, and they're dying gas, but Dory, always love these pistol rounds from them because they come in swinging and they come in fast. Haram's aim, just not quite there, and that's where the power of the frenzy comes in big time handy. Mikey, a couple of shots from them as well. The Aftershock to get them and move them. Fisher, already starting off the second half with a bang.
And if you don't force up as the Broncos, which we already see some stingers being bought, if you do not force up, you basically have given up this next round because of the potential buy. Question mark buys, but hey, you know, if you're going for the big ARs, why not in round 2? Basically can secure this entire map without even having to worry. It does look like we have the force. So Sheriffs, but Stingers will have to be the rundown and has to surprise them. 20-5 is Dory. I need to know if you're a betting man. I don't know if you are. Is it gonna be Dory or Logan on top at the end? Assuming Fisher wins this.
I'm gonna put my money on Logan.
Okay. The comeback kid.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the comeback kid. It's still early, right? They got some big guns in their arsenal. And Logan is unafraid, always ready to go. But still, we have to see if they can actually make this happen. But in through the smoke, Clork is gonna take out Omen. The Cookie Monster. Not having any more cookies, and that is the right spray for that moment. Logan sees just so many free opportunities and free targets. And while they're running in, hitting the reload, they're gonna dash to safety. Mikey's aim, they found it. 3 kills, but can they convert into the 4th one? No, they cannot. RexGator is gonna put an end to that moment. Now Fisher, match point.
Match point.
Very standard map. A very standard performance from Fisher right now against an opponent that, you know, they have to test. The only map loss that this squad has had is since December of last year, and they're looking to find someone that can stop them. They come from a very nationally accredited as well as it's just very good competition. And they see that from week to week to week, and they're forcing the Broncos to have to be at that level right here, right now. This is your discount buy if you're finding it, and everyone's just keeping it for the bonus in case they actually want it or need it. Neo is able to pop out, get a stinger on target, and Logan will drop to the dirt early.
It's all breaking out on B site. Hiding out on top of the generator. Cookie Monster with the shorty. Oh, beautifully executed from the Broncos. Holding on for another round. Fighting back. And giving it all they've got.
They gotta. This is the moment. This is your finals. This is an entire semester. This is for a season's worth of accolades. So leave it on the table. Force even this kind of monster, if you will, to fight. To not be, easily dismayed. And this is a weird buy system that we've had right now. Everyone's just getting scrappy. They're like, yeah, I'm forcing up. Yeah, this is what's happening. So we will have at least a couple Vandals out there, but it's a stinger fest, man. This is just gross. I love it. Give it to me. Blazestorm. Oh, Mikey doing the same thing. Logan hitting the dirt again.
Having something like a Blazestorm here already in the third round of this half is beautiful. Tuzi, though, it's just like one of those shot pulls. Pull and headshot. Fortunately for them, looking straight ahead. Wasn't quite ready for Neo on the side. Look at how well this is going for the Broncos. Turns out you give them a little bit of guns, a little bit of an advantage. They're going to use it against Fisher as best they can. Their best is looking pretty good.
Go into a gun round off of that, though. Pretty good is starting to gain some momentum, but it's 12-4. It's a stark reality to have to face off against that. It is not unwinnable, but it is probabilities that rest in the sub 1%. Can they be able to get there? It's available. They may. Thou shalt go out and kill. Get KDs in the positive if you're able. Fisher, though, they're going to start running it down, trying to escape. And already because of the fault line, they know they are all stunned up. Why not get rid of him? Logan finds one. He's able to stay on his feet.
Oh, that alarm bot was perfectly well placed by Rex Gator to figure out someone coming up inside of Garage. Now all they had to do is survive the Hunter's Fury, but no. That Hunter's Fury is as angry, and so is Haram, to the determination to win out against the Titans that are Fisher. Going in with another Cloud Burst. Mikey wanted to clear out the corner, just didn't realize Cloric right in front of their face. A gun upgrade is everything that they needed, and everything that Fisher needed here, as they are winning out on Haven. 13-4.
Wow. 13-4. Bit of a sprint through our first map, if you will, but it's one that Fisher was ready for. The Falcons flying very, very high, so congrats to them. Game 1 of a best of 5 in the books, but Sam, that one was so quick. I want to see more. I want to see more almost immediately. I want to see what these guys got to ride around the corner, too. It looked like it simply came down to absolute domination on the defensive half for Fisher, and their offense, they could just kind of play as they please, come onto site, see what they want to test, and otherwise, like you were talking about, just simply win first contact and duel them down.
Yeah, and they were also just some like really good timing moments from Fisher, especially with what we saw in the last round. A lot of the kills that Cloric got was just the way that the Broncos clear kind of works against them because they're so determined on getting out the corners that or looking ahead of them. We saw that in the previous round and in what happened with poor Tuzi. They're just going in, things like that. But yeah, anyways, regardless though, getting back to the conversation at hand, Fisher's just a really good team. They're so excellent at how they're able to play the early game into the mid game, into the end game. And I would say that for me, and I think for both of us, if the players are ready, let's go ahead and see what's in the next match. Let's see what happens. Let's see what's ready to go. In Fraction, it seems like, yeah, they are good to start whenever. So we're just going to keep going. Like you said, that was a really quick first match. And so we now go on to the map choice of the Broncos. This could be Cal Poly Pomona's chance to turn things over. Fracture is kind of that map where if you're not comfortable on it, if a team isn't comfortable, ones that typically choose out on it, there's a reason why they choose it.
This is one of those that just make sure it's a non-standard. And I know you were talking about Fracture has shown up more into collegiate, but percentage and comparative wise, it's still one of the least. And so this is one of the, maybe those just less practice, but this could be a run it down sort of composition. Obviously, you bring a lot of brims into this. I've even seen Neon and Raze double duelist combos. This one's more going to be double duelist, but with a Raze and a Jet. Killjoy is pretty optimal here. Still plays into the basement play of B, and you're going to see that on Neo with Bronco, but some of that has been sussed out as well by having a breach, which is kind of that counterplay. Rex Gator is thinking about and locking in Cypher. So that's a very specific orientation to kind of lock down. Just they're going to be really keyed in and clued in on just like half sites completely.
Or yeah, Dory has to. Yeah, okay. I was going to say Dory has to go breach.
Right.
Fisher not
By the
having
way,
breached
Dory
it.
won that kill race, by the way.
Yes,
So.
I know. I saw that, and I didn't want to bring it up, but you know, Monkey Man, I got to give you props where props are deserved. It was by 1 kill too.
It
One
was.
kill. So they even went out in the deaths as well. Logan had 1 more death, so I guess I can take that solace. In fact, but hey, you know what? We go into Fracture, new map, new us, right? New bet. So we'll take those chances. I'm still gonna stick with my dark horse pick of Logan against if you choose Dory again.
Ooh, you know,
or
so
you go with.
So Clork did switch. They went over to Raze, but I love rolling Swedish meatballs. So give me Dory again. This is okay. Look, this is, if anything, Breach's map. It is a playground for everything to be shot into. There's so many boxes out here that Aftershock can be used to deny. They're here to shut down the fun of a Killjoy. Why not? Get loud and get Swedish and get crazy. Be Big Viking. I think Dory's going to be able to win that kill race, as well as Fisher have a great first start. We're going to be flipping sides and halves. Broncos on the defense this time, as Fisher's going to try and run it up, and they're going straight to drop.
Oh yeah, there's no way that they're gonna stop. They caught Cookie Monster trying to put down a molly. That's gonna be them falling, but the rest of Cal Poly Pomona are looking really clean, being able to execute on their attack. And this is what I'm talking about. Whenever you go on to Fracture, Neo with a 3K, dominating on their own site, preventing anyone from being able to enter or even think about planting there. That's gonna be the first round 1 here by the Broncos.
You know, I love me a Cypher main. I love Cypher in general as a pick. I haven't picked it too often coming into this map, so I do want to kind of hone in on exactly where we'll see Rex Gator kind of chilling, because they were primarily just in Garage for the most point, playing between that kind of BC combo of Haven, but this is an entirely different sort of beast. It allows for a lot of extra rotation. You could play north-south to both sites. I think that this one in the long haul will receive the least amount of changes. They've already done a few when it comes to boxes, but they just kind of shift things around. Drop was the biggest change up to allow some of those pushes like we just saw from Fisher before, but they're slow sneaking it. The door is definitely open, but they're gonna have to play against all these long distance gadgets as well. As the Sentinel's able to suss them out, Haram does the same, but Rex Gator's able to upgrade.
Ooh, trying to walk up there. It's gonna be a fight between Tuesday and Cookie Monster. But as long as you land those Sheriff headshots, well, Ehan Cowboy, you're gonna come out on top. And still that Vandal hiding over there, I think, but did Neo? Yes, Neo unfortunately wasn't quite ready for Dory coming up main. Mikey stalled out by that swarm grenade. It's gonna pop their little head out as the spike is trying to be planted, stops that from even happening, and the gun advantage is really working in its favor. Thor tries to go for the head, but the heads are still very much intact, Monkey Man. There we have it, Cal Poly Pomona. 2 rounds in a row, but now gonna have to contend with a very angry Fisher with some very big guns.
Yeah, I wouldn't force, because this is into your bonus. It looks like they're playing into an anti-bonus. So they want to meet the weaponry. And I think that they're gonna play more into the banks of Cake, as they're gonna make sure to have bulldogs. Okay, look, I do this all the time. I love running the ropes there and just hanging out with the gang out, because you just get pushed around. It's so fun. This is also one of my more favorite entry sites going into B. I love coming in through arcade, and it's especially because you just have a little bit more open sight. Dory's able to take down Mikey, who was an absolute nuisance. Fault line goes forward, and they're gonna try and clear some extra corners with the short form lifespan of that boombot. Maybe a flashpoint or 2 to slow him down. But it's just Fisher that's not finding a lot of space when they get on site.
No, they're not. And the way that the Broncos are playing out here on Fracture, it's a lot of really good positioning and waiting for the right opportunities and the timing that they need. It just wasn't there for them, though. It was more on Tuesday's side. And finally, the spike is going to be planted all the way on the other side of the world. Running all the way back is Neo. By themselves in 1v3 with a Stinger. Just wasn't ready. Was not ready for the tour de force that is Tuesday. I had to say tour de force since I don't get to utter those words very often.
I know.
With Chamber being gone.
I miss our French guy. You know, he's out there eating frog legs, just chilling. Our awesome production guy gives us one of the chamber emotes in the chat. Thank you so much. But I miss Tour de Force out here. It used to be screamed across Fracture in literally every map, but now there was too much of a chorus. Fisher's able to find the first, and because of that buy into this one, this is actually not the greatest pool, and you do see Broncos still playing around 2 big rifles. So they want to have some firepower, but they're going to have to play the buddy system around it, and Haram is hanging on to a very tight angle just outside of the sky smoke.
Ooh, up inside tower. Oh, Cake has cleared it out and is now under their domain. Walking in through the smoke with the confidence of many. A powerful rounds 1 under their belt. Fisher has found their confidence once more. You give these guys the big guns, and boy, they're going to take home some big wins. A little bit of a black eye, though. 3 out of the 5 members in this squad did fall. But, I mean, economically speaking, not too big of a deal. And now they get to go up against a very weak Cal Poly Pomona.
I don't exactly understand the buy cycle right now by Cal Poly. They have constantly had 2 ARs and then sheriffs, 2 ARs and then sheriffs. And I don't understand why they aren't either in a full kind of, it'll be a brutal round, but a save, but instead they're just playing into a very forced need to win, or I guess the want to win. They're evened up in the first 4. This is going to set you back several rounds if you don't complete I guess the defense. You will see them be able to repel this Falcons flock, but as they flock away, they're going to just take other thoroughfares. They do have to defend themselves from high and low. Outside of Rafters, the fault line is going to get an extra stun. Logan is able to efficiently run away, and Clark and the gang will find multiple.
Is he still hiding out inside of the smokes? He's going to use their orbital strike. Neo has 3 HP. A little bit slowed down by the bullets coming in, I think is just good enough for them to get singed by the orbital strike. Now Fisher in the lead, 3-2.
You think Singed says his own name in League of Legends? You think it just goes Singed? I would prefer that as a voice line.
That'd be his. Yeah, that's his tag. Don't you know? Every time he kills someone, he goes, "It's singeing time."
Yeah, and then he just singed everywhere.
Then he just singed everywhere.
Oh my god. Oh man. All right. Either way, I didn't quite see the buy because everything was getting singed out here. Thank you so much. You're gonna fault line again. A full attack coming into tower as Fisher is much just wanting to take this straight up win, and then you have a quad of them running away. Mikey will be able to tag Tuesday down as everyone dropped on back, and then they get a blind spray through the cyber cage. As scrappy of a buy as these have been, Broncos have been able to keep pace.
What are they gonna do? Another pain shells. They know that Mikey's hiding out there. A little bit of damage from that. And the aftershock just to be the little extra cherry on the sundae. Spike is planted. Fisher in a very rough position. Look at those health bars between the final 2 remaining members. And now they have an extra additional worry with that lockdown. Fisher's gonna hold their grounds. They don't care. They're gonna kind of be the bait. Dory is gonna do that for finally running away, staying as far away as they can from tower. Is going to push them back over towards that, and perfectly well done, perfectly well executed. All Chloric has to do here is just keep doing that jiggle peek or wait for Dory with a fault line, concusses them. Time is starting to run out, and this is being executed perfectly by Fisher. That was at its finest, the most well executed plan I've seen in quite some time, but really nothing less than what we should be expecting from the number 2 in the nation.
I mean, this is adaptation at its finest. You're like, okay, I'm gonna play bait, you play mid, you're gonna be on that cover or that crossfire, and because we know they're not clearing out of arcade, I'm good to go. I'm at the furthest point. They're gonna have to walk awkward either through mid or they're still under sewer. That was the only way that went wrong, is if putting the lockdown underneath and they came up through backside our sewer. But otherwise, the woulda, coulda, shoulda left the building a long time ago. Going to round number 7, and the first 2/3 of this one will go in favor of Fisher. Big trades, and Logan is finally making his name on the stack.
Oh my god. Logan doing more than making a name, is shouting it from the top of their lungs. Hey, I'm here, and I'm ready to win. Meanwhile, all the way over on B's side, where I thought it was going to be an A side execution, no, Rex Gator had it the entire time. He's going to walk their way through. Logan taking a little bit too much damage. He's gonna get body checked by Haram. Slowed down by the Aftershock, but in a 1v3 fashion, this is gonna be a very difficult battle for them to win. 2Z and Dory. No, I know what you two are doing. Dives out, Monkey Man. They're wanting to end this out in style. Wait a minute. Is Rexgator joining in on the fun too?
Oh, they put a smoke down. They're trying to mess with him. He doesn't know exactly where they are. They did set up for it. Camera will go out. It will get shot. So Rexgator's making the call, and they're trying to be able to squeeze him. That bomb's out in open space. They're looking for the knife. They're not going to get it. Haram will get 3. They're looking to try and tag another, and they will go down with the ship. The defuse is just not going to happen. They just continuously, they were just ghosting right behind them. Didn't think that they were being haunted. And 2Z's 7-4 and 11, by the way. That's some fun stuff getting out of your brim, making sure they're assisting everyone. I want to see them get to 20. I feel like they can.
I think they can as well. And of course, the perennial favorites, Dory and Logan, 7-6. Rexgator and Clork not far behind. I mean, 7-7, 6-5-4. Huh. We've almost got the numerical win here when it comes to that. And I mean, you look over at what Cal Poly is doing as well in their scoreboard. It's not all darkness. Mikey is doing a lot for themselves to try and stand up to the onslaught that has been Fisher. It's just really difficult when all of Fisher is doing a fantastic job. Cake's gonna try, and not only try, do or do not, there is no trying. They realize they did more than happily enough to make that happen. Rexgator out in the open, couldn't get to safety in time. The double swing is beautiful from those. Fisher in a very rough situation, a 2v5 for them now. And all that's left for them to contend with and clear out with here is Neo.
Oh my God. Again. Oh, okay. There's a slightly bigger shotgun there. So Dory has to ace to win this round. If there was ever someone that could, it would be them. They have to run away from, well, literally every util in the world. So that's just going to be one and a trade and done. The Broncos are able to already getting very well, just one round away from their last map total here in the half. 3-5, very, very respectable to it. That's also the most, like, most Sith saying of the Jedi. Do or do not, there is no try. Like, but Sith speak in absolutes. Hypocrisy, I say upon thee. Hey. Are you a Sith? Are you a Jedi? What are you?
Yoda lived in that swamp for a very long time.
He lived there a ton.
he lived there a ton. He was getting a little old too, so we'll give him a little pass for that one. Just like we're gonna see what is going to be passing in through Arcade, and it's going to be a majority push from Fisher. Once again, all by themselves is Rexgator. Logan at the turn sees just the tip of that operator. It's going to press their luck and fight it out. Logan going to get in charge of that operator once more. The bulwark defense for Fisher. I think they're just safe from that rolling thunder too. Not going to be caught out by it, or maybe they have been, but regardless, Blazestorm is ready to go. Hits that shotgun shot and trading it out, upgrading back over into their Arcade Phantom. 1v2 is happening, and still the spike has not been planted. Logan sees it in front of them. This is a really interesting move from the Broncos to not actually have sights on that. Revealed by the spike. Haram walks in, gets the headshot, and now we're only one round differential between these two teams, 4-5. Broncos, if they can do this, we're seeing them making some steady improvements on their gameplay.
Yeah, this is very close. Broncos have been able to keep this first half very contentious. They look, I don't know exactly where the percent leans when it comes to this map. I believe that it would be a bit more attacker advantageous, considering that it gets tricky moving onto each of these sides, and as the defense, you're basically stuck in a linguine noodle right in the middle. Say, all right, where are we gonna go? We have to kind of go back. Actually, is it more ZD? Is it more of? Is it a fettuccine? No, it's not fettuccine. It's more of a... I'll figure out which noodle we're going. We're going Italian. Very hands moving. A bit of a pinching happen out here. But the first 9 has left this anything but decided. We do have a rolling thunder for the attack of Fisher. But otherwise, opposite of that, they could be able to stop a default with straight up the orbital strike. And Rexgator is all the way up under where they're on the backside into Arcade.
Very interesting choice from Rexgator. Little shot happens there. Could potentially alert them to their presence, but they're angles are covered only all by themselves, though, is poor Haram. And I say poor Haram, who's been doing a really good job at landing their shots. Unfortunately, maybe a little bit thrown off their game by that aftershock. Didn't see the ghost coming in for them, and just like the ghost of the rest of the rounds that they've lost is coming back to haunt them. Rank Skater trying to hold out in the back line, but the timings are always there to put you in your place. May not realize that just yet. Hit by the blind. And Cake, whoa, hello, 2 for 1. And that is going to be an evened up scoreline here for the Broncos.
Cake got what I call the equivalent of a fadeaway jumper in Valorant. Got the initial shots, and then he's just stepping around the corner and everything, and then his whole body and everything is moving away, gets a wall bang off that corner. Wow. Off the bloom. 5-5, first 10, evened up. They've been able to overcome and usurp that horizon of rounds that they got in Haven. The standard is non-standard here, and they are able to keep Fisher guessing. This attack is going to be only has 2 more opportunities to be able to get to 7-5, and we may end up evened up through the entirety of this this first half.
Slowing them down. Fault line there. You can see a big battle is going to break out in Arcane. Logan actually wins out in the operator duel against Neo. I want to point that out. An attacker-sided operator winning out against the defense. That is nothing short of impressive. Now Mikey with a showstopper. It's a Hail Mary. But Caloric is going to survive, needs to use their blast pack to survive through the paint shells and protected by the rest of their team. Here's going to be the Rolling Thunder to push them back into the corner. And Rank Skater, instead of drop, going to be emboldened as they're fighting it out on sand. Mikey couldn't quite make that second kill happen. Things are still looking like it's going to go in Fisher's way.
It will require a couple of killers to come onto site. Really make their names known. Rex Skater's holding this tight angle off of drop. They put a Molly outside of low on Hell. So now Cake is trying to combine their efforts, but actually they just become a shooting dummy. Rex Skater's going to take the spin and win. As actually Dory will end it out with a 2K at the end of the round. So Fisher, they get themselves into a great position. I love that tag. Omen is scary for everyone, but I think he's a cool, cute guy, you know? I mean, Omen's the best guy.
Omen's just misunderstood.
He is.
Right, Omen may be scary, but how can you be scared of someone who tends to a bonsai trick? It's just not possible.
I try to think that, but I'm terrible with plants. People with plants are either like the nicest or most serial killer people ever. There is no in between.
And we all know that Omen's the nicest. Doesn't fit into that.
It's on that side of the spectrum.
Yeah. Doesn't fit into that. Neo's tired, by the way, of the arcade attack. Is going to rely on their gadget and utility to keep B main safe. Loric is going to pop onto there. He's just not able to win out. Meanwhile, inside, Cookie Monster wasn't keeping their back safe. Rex Gator is juking it out perfectly, which is good because now this gives Tuzi a chance to be able to plant the spike. They get to see the horrors of their comrade getting blown the heck up, but hey, spike's been planted.
But the lockdown has been initiated. They have to play against one extra number than they did before. They will actually defender Killjoy will not be able to detain anyone, so they were just off the mark by enough. They'll have the fault line going out. Neo has to get very quick with their shots. They will be dropped as well as Logan finds the third. Cake has no chance against all those layers. So Fisher does respond, and they do find 2 at the end of the first half. 7-5, they'll be flipping. So I need to know from your optic, Fisher obviously is just a power squad. They come in, they're very nationally known, they're very good. It's a team that top of the rock everyone tries to aim for. You give them an oddity that is Fracture as a Broncos pick, and they keep them very close. What lends them the better idea here? Because I feel like if they're able to kind of slow that attack down on them, and if they can go pretty fast, which it looks like they want to boom onto site and do, especially off of this Raze pick, if they could be able to really take advantage of Fisher, especially if they get the lockdowns to open up B.
Yeah, here's the thing that I think we're understanding from Cal Poly, especially in their defense. They know that taking space is vital to winning out on this map. And so the quicker that you're able to, and if you can take advantage of Fisher's maybe sort of hesitancy towards doing that. You can kind of see that happening over towards A. We have Haram going by themselves, regardless of whatever happens there. It's going to be really scary. Tuzi and Rexgator are going to be the ones to batten down the hatches on B site. But for the way that Cal Poly is, it's just kind of force them to use utility, which they did. Now they're not going to really have anything to protect them on A side, except for, you know, Logan and Dory. And Logan's already taken a couple of pot shots themselves. And so if you can burst onto side, especially using someone like Mikey, be that bait, be that aggressor, you could probably throw Fisher off, or you could do things like that. Get rid of Rexgator with that initial pick, since you know that they like to be that lurker.
This is a tough read, because is that all of a lurk, or are they hitting A? But because they now get the numbers, they're going to be able to get that plant. Neo is going to play for life. Take a step out, keep the majority of it, but Tuzi still exists, and Tuzi is a menace. They are deep infiltrated onto that back box of tower. Haram does clear Cork, and now Logan's trying to find 3. Too smooth with it. They're going to have to reload, and they now have 2 to have to swing against. They will have a tailwind to get them back into Sanctuary, all the way to ropes, and then the last one that was standing against them is dropped by Dory. You were talking about him from the beginning, and then into this one. If Dory and Logan still live, there's still life in Fisher, and they're just hanging out, you know, just a little bit of dance over here.
Yeah, so Cal Poly's biggest mistake was just the flank, right? They didn't protect their backs. And I think that's kind of the crux of what this team has been suffering with so far. Corner clearing and flank watching, making sure that they're protected from behind. And now we're seeing Fisher able, I mean, Logan's going to go ahead and buy a second round and a half Phantom. Meanwhile, Cal Poly, Cake is going to force out a Spectre with light shields. It's a very bold decision, and something that I think we echoed it at the very beginning. It's like you kind of want to make sure that you're wanting to buy up, especially against a team like Fisher. If you're going to force things like that, well, you better be winning these.
Yeah, and there's been force. I don't know if you've noticed, but force, it's been forced. Just almost every round, and I'm not exactly sure. It hasn't given them the best looks. Clark is able to get one off of Haram. Tuzi's just kind of waiting for the recoil. They will be able to get rid of Neo yet again. Tuzi was the one that ruined their good time, but Cake is going to be able to live and eat it too. As they finally get rid of Tuzi, who was one of the last survivors. Flashpoint comes out. They're playing for survival, and people are getting dropped. Mikey finds one off Dory, but Logan, with that Phantom, put an end to them and gets a big old KO. Spin them. I honestly thought that was going to spin straight like through the ceiling. I didn't know how that would work. Good to see the extra mechanic there. But first couple in this half go over to Fisher again.
So I really want to point out what's happening here is that Fisher collapses on top of Cal Poly because they're taking so long to get onto site. That even though Tuzi fell there, that was like the go-ahead signal. That's like go, 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 push, push, push. All right, you're already coming up in through CT. Just press W and left click and kill them all. It worked. It's really just as simple as that sometimes. Oh my word, what are you doing here, Fisher? This is a literal rolling death ball. They're gonna... That was a little bit of a delayed reaction, I gotta admit. I don't think they saw Neo hiding out there by the zip lines.
Well, I mean, it's a lesser known position to go and look, and this is an attack that's just hitting so well. Dory and the gang, they are on a bonus, and this would be a hell of a bonus if they're able to get it off a 1v4 with all of Dory and a Spectre trying to survive. A little bit of extra damage, but Haram has the better weapon, so they keep their cool, they're calm, and they collect on at least getting one. We go to 6-9 so fine in our round diff. Nice. We will, I think, see rifle rounds here. It looks like actually the defense of Fisher is just going to be playing around with Stingers, at least a majority of rifles.
Yeah, majority of rifles, and I think that's going to work out well for them. Clark's been a little bit quiet, but not. It's nothing awful, right? They're still doing their job as the Rays, getting in, clearing sight, and gaining space for their team. It's just obviously been a little bit more difficult for them, and it echoes back to what I say when it comes to Fracture. If you're not entirely comfortable on this map, it's really difficult to find success on. Rexgator hits off. It looks like the trip has managed to trap someone. The only one that's going to get entrapped is Rexgator into the cold clutches of death. Meanwhile, through the smokes, Tuzi's going to try to walk in, and be met with a flurry of bullets from Mikey. Stopping them down there is a really good Hunter's Fury from Cal Poly. Those paint shells gonna blow the doors wide open onto Cake's face. Logan taking the stairway to heaven, maybe be sending others in that direction.
Yep. Oh, just not gonna happen. They were the last respite of possibility, but it's gonna be Fisher that again gets to 10. I love that smiley face. A little bit of thespianism going on out there, and so Fisher does find 10. And like you've been saying, as soon it doesn't even matter if there's like a successful contact, especially if they're able to roll off of 2 kills. This group is unafraid of just forcing Broncos to make decisions. They feel so confident, especially if they get into just duels. They're like, okay, cool, yeah, all right, bring it on, pull them in, and just go and win fights. Especially if they have advantage to it, which they're often able to do simply by being a bit extra sneaky. Look at the kill race we got going on right now. Top 2 of both sides. Haram and I believe that is Mikey in 15 and 14, and then Logan and Dory 19 and 18. So those 2 still dueling like crazy. And again, I mean, look at this cluster. They've gone all the way up into north side. They're just ready to, like, Gangs of New York style, just crash down upon them. And this, like, Broncos are trying to play more default, but they're just having the whole gang on one side.
Yeah, they're just having the whole gang on one side. They don't really care too much about whether or not they lose the site because they're so confident at being able to take it back. And evidence has been given to them and actually making that happen. Unfortunately for Neo, wanted to take a small jaunt. Wanted to see what's happening inside of this spawn. Well, it's them despawning out of the game. Cake's gonna hit the plant. They did not actually plant it. It was just like right there at the final moments. Mikey throws out a really good showstopper that blows 2Z into the next round. It's a 2v3 now with Fisher using that Rolling Thunder. Mikey caught out inside of it. Caloric sees an easy target for them to actually be able to capitalize. Haram has the spike, but I think in a really poor move, are actually still trying to execute onto A. And there's no escape mechanism for them to get out. It's either take the fight or die. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. They debated Fisher.
Oh my God, they just waited. And what's crazy is the timing. They didn't see Dory running. And they just were like, oh, they're not here? Okay, plants. And they thought, oh, we gotta sprint to the other side. We got messed with. Now the aftershock to try and clear Haram out of space. Oh, Haram! A twofer BOGO. There you go, Broncos.
I take it all back. It was a 2000 IQ Galaxy Brain move that fooled me. It fooled Fisher, right? Because you're thinking that the wrong decision would be Haram holding on with the spike. Instead, you should have gone with Cookie Monster, but no. They realized that maybe they could get lucky enough to debate or work with the timing. And the timing was nothing short of perfection. They heard the footsteps of Fisher running away. And then it really just came down to them planting the spike. Boom, Haram though. Haram was the savior of that round, being able to get the final 2 kills. Now we're going in with a Rolling Thunder. Fisher, well, Fisher's done playing around.
They're very much done. But they are also leaving one behind, as Rexigator has pretty much sat in the exact same spot. You're going to have the Orbital Strike also looking to clear at least a few off of the main default. And now Neo's playing to just get the fade away. Mikey finds another. And this is a Fisher defense that's starting to dwindle. The Broncos are all off site. Clark is going to try and clear with at least a few paint shells, push some pressure off, but they have much return to sender. They basically kick the can right back at him, and Clark has a spin on 2.
It was going to be a difficult fight for them to win out on. It was either hope for the spray transfer and your sidestep to win that one. Was not in the cards for Clark. Cal Poly, this is what I was talking about though. They are starting to get the memo that sometimes maybe we need to be pressing the W key and really pushing fast and going at it as quick as we can. And the important part is they're winning out in these gun duels too and in the 1v1s, but when they have the advantage, taking advantage of the 2v1s like we saw there in the very final moments of that round. Fisher a little bit in shambles, economically speaking. You're seeing some classics and some sheriffs here. The thing about Fisher is that they're doing this together. There's no forced buys or anything like that.
Oh, you do have a great paint shell, though, but Neo and Haram, they combine. They know that at least one is there. They blast pack right through. Clork is able to upgrade. They get a weapon for free, but that's a lot of extra damage. Mikey actually gets rid of Clork, so everything's gone wrong. It is the least expensive type of situation for Fisher, as they had all of a save coming into this. Plant is down on B, and Cake finds Logan. That leaves Dory in a 1v4, has yet to be able to clutch up into it. They're just hanging out here in hallway. Mikey finishes the job. So we go 9-10, and things finally start to get a little bit interesting, because this was very close in the first half, and I give first half to first half, but I have to see how you answer the call going into the next. And Sam, at this point, Broncos have forced Fisher to meet them in open space, and they've been able to get on the site, execute, and get off and survive quite well the last 3.
Which is a good improvement that we're seeing out of Cal Poly in the middle of this game, right? Because, I mean, you look at it, there was a moment where Fisher had pulled so far ahead, and it looked like things were starting to become insurmountable, like what we saw on Haven. But Fracture is that map where if you can abuse the enemy team, if you can throw them off their game, and if you are practice on it, it works out so well from you. And Cal Poly has been cycling their ultimate so well. First they intried with the Rolling Thunder in the last round. Now they're using a lockdown in this one to be able to get in onto site. The only thing that's going to scare me is what happens when they run out of those ultimates. For the moment, though, we don't have to worry too much, because Haram found one inside of that Hunter's Fury. Rex Gator detained just but for a moment, and Fisher is going to give themselves a little bit of time to regroup before they begin their 3-4 pronged assault.
Yeah, this is coming from the north, from the mid. Just the only one missing is from the south. You have a couple that are just running up and through, as you do hanging out on main B. And they both go down. Logan and Clork will survive. The flashpoint comes away as well, as the aftershock will be threatened, but they don't quite get completely blinded, so that util is going to be slow. They are making on the defuse as they plant for open stairs, and no one can get it to half, and they can be able to just jiggle peek on this one. They can't get the clear. That actually is a KO, and that's going to be Cake that finds it too. And that's Cal Poly Pomona with 10. Fisher, this next buy, I think they have to save, and they will be maybe on their heels running it through the 21st round.
We got to talk about what happened in that last round, because Fisher kind of were just going into the bullets of Cal Poly, hoping to be able to get some kills here and there. It just wasn't going to happen, though. They were throwing themselves one at a time onto that stairway to try and clear them out. But when you have 3 of Cal Poly fighting against you, it was just really not going to be any hope for that to actually work out in your favor. Things look like they might be evening out once more. Fisher, they're just going for it, and they're actually coming out on top. Logan, it's their second kill of this round. Spike is going to be planted on B site once more. Haram up through tunnel. Dory's going to try and take the fight, but a nice running gun is going to reward them with the 1. It's up to Rex Gator in this 2v1 to make the magic happen, but it's going to be a difficult one, especially with the Stinger against Vandals.
That and an orbital strike. They're trying to secure this round. If you are the Broncos, the least amount of time that they need to be able to get I guess just get this one off. They know that this ultimate doesn't often get to be used, and they will threaten it. They will hop off. That's going to be an early peek that now has to come around from Cookie Monster, and that's why the Cyber Cage is there. And that is such a good aftershock placement. And Rex Gator doesn't really have much. Stinger versus the world versus at least a couple Vandals, and those ARs will win. It was very smart. It was staggered. It was strategic. It was big S+ rating for final execution of that round. So the Broncos, for the first time in a long time, will actually have the lead here, as well as in map 2 this series. You think about just the legacy of Fisher coming in, but they picked this map for a reason. They want disruption, and they want non-standard, so they can play non-conventional and be able to get Fisher off their game.
And here's the important thing, too, for Cal Poly, is that they don't have to worry about a KJ, so there's no reason for Brimstone to use their orbital strike to break it, so then they can do things like that. They do have the Rolling Thunder that they can use to get in onto site, push Logan up into the air, but Now Fish can respond with 4 ultimates of their own if they need to. Logan's going to be more prepared for someone to walk through that smoke, but Count Polly, scared away by the loss of 2 members in Cake, dangerously low with only 20 HP, abandoning all hopes and dreams of actually being able to make B work for themselves. And with no spokes, Rex Gators theoretically come out big time, especially now that their trip has given them all this juicy information that they were coming this way, but it just wasn't going to be in the cards for our poor Cypher. And like mini a cinematic, well, it turns out that Cypher is going to die.
But Cypher's revenge will be nigh. Just not right now. Just later. It's very nigh. Eventually, probably. A very hurt agent and a half, maybe even a third if you really want to give it to him. As you try to hold it.
Swarm him.
Oh, they're just going to be able to tackle him. They're going to crash the gates. Dory's going to try and swing on this one. They are very much stunned up, and yet they're surviving. The Bladestorm will come up, and they'll be able to get a defuse. So a great recovery. They have to expend, what, 2 ultimates to be able to make it work. So Fisher will lock us in. 11 apiece going into round 23. Broncos, they found a chance. They've been able to build their bank, which is honestly the best thing about this entire situation. Who's going to first get to 12? Because they get to have at least a inkling of, I guess, insurance. Because that means no matter what, if they were to lose, we go to OT. And if you believe in the latent curse, we'll go to 5 of them.
Guys, you mentioned it live on stream, Monkey Man. Oh, this is bad. Oh, this is bad. We're going to be here for the next 3 years now. Okay. The good news is that both teams are still able to make the full buys happen. So as long as...
Enemy kill.
Oh, well, I was going to say, as long as that doesn't happen to poor Cal Poly, they should be good. But Logan just don't miss. Now they're going to continue to peek it out, but that's going to be the biggest mistake of their life. Neo was more than ready for this over-aggressive jet to try and peek them with that operator. The Broncos are starting to realize that Fisher is so aggressive. The most important thing here is that Dory wasn't found out by the bot. Doesn't matter, though. Cal Poly are on their A game. Cal Poly wants to win Fracture, and all they have to do is win this round.
This is not a good buy. If you're Fisher, this is not a good buy. This may just be goodbye here in map number 2 for Broncos to be able to find a very close one, but a very tight-knit Fracture. You've got Stingers, Bulldogs, and Hopes and Dreams into some of this execute. They cannot go and force some space. They're going to have to bundle bash their way with 4-on-1 and hope and pray that Rex Skater can be able to at least repel after they receive the Broncos running it into A. They'll at least test, see if anyone from the Falcons, they've been very conditioned about this push out from drop side on Dish. That's not happening right now. We're going to send the Owl drone forward. If anyone's hanging out in boxes, oh, that timing did not see at least one hanging out mid. They did mark him up off of a sound cue, so they're going to start to rotate away. That does leave Rex Skater all alone, but he's not going to rotate early. Have 4 that want to just push in, but they don't have that distance fight. They have maybe some Bulldogs, have seen them be able to get at least some of these contact kills. But this is all in the Broncos' favor. It's just about when they want to do it.
Okay, but the old tour, Mikey wants to get as close as they can to that. This time looking up, Haram knows all the angles, knows all the corners, and Cloric is safe no matter where they go. Already starting to look very good for the Broncos. Make that a second one. The Ringer Logan has been taken down. 2Z taking advantage of it. Very concussed Mikey is the headshot there. The Hunter's Fury forcing them out. Now it's Rex Skater all by themselves in a 1v4. Spike is going to be planted. But there you have it. Cal Poly Pomona, the Broncos, proving to us all that gods do bleed. 13-11.
Titan Killers, that's what they call them. They're able to go out there and take them down. Maybe even the wrath of the Titans against this Olympus. And so Fisher reminded that sometimes there is a map that they are at their least strongest. And job well done by the Broncos. It took late turn fights and they had to repel that aggression you were talking about. It was Fisher that was saying, all right, we don't respect these guys. Let's just run it out to Arcade. Let's go north side on this entire map, and let's just force the fight into them. We even get 1 kill. We take away space, and we force them into just a body count. Well, guess what? The body bags were filling up on the Fisher side of the court, and we're all tied up in 1 apiece into this series. Game 3. We're going to be going to 4 no matter what, Sam, and Pearl's right around the corner.
Pearl is right around the corner, and we're going to see if the Broncos are going to be able to continue this momentum or if Fisher is going to remind us why They are number 2. We'll be right back after this break.
Super Smash Bros. Ultimate is a game that can be decided in milliseconds, and Waka, one of the best players from SUNY Canton A Squad, wanted to show us just what they can do with only a second and a single stock on the board.
Sledge option going to be charging forward smash, going a little early. They're not quite getting what you want. Drop shield after first hit, and Pin getting hit by the kick. High percent. There is the stun into Claw. That Claw could have been charged for a lot longer. Oh my goodness, that's a forwarder into stage with the stage spike and then upping immediately after. What a sick.
1 point in Rocket League can never make a team feel comfortable, but Driftsy wanted to show us that not only was he going to pick the pace up, but he wasn't going to let his team down.
Defensive test with flying colors, though they couldn't get out. And that is the important part at the moment. Clears a must for UA, and it's just not in the cards at the moment.
Dripsy! Dripsy connects off the backboard! What a shot! I watched it unfold slowly. You stopped speaking at just the right moment.
Valorant is often called a team-based shooter, but sometimes it can't just be about the team. Sometimes you gotta have those hero plays. Spec wanted to spray and pray and was actually able to save the day for SVSU, tying up the series 7-7.
Hard B push here. 2 Omen smokes coming out. 1. Oh, Spec just finds 3. What? Spraying through the smoke? Oh, what, Spec? That's not legal, man. That's not legal. This is match day 2 of the ECAC League. You can't be doing that right now. Spec just goes with the call.
Here in this clip, Fanshawe finds themselves with their backs against the wall, 20 seconds left on the clock, and they're desperate to take down Wake Forest. They don't have anything to get through this team, they don't have any weapons on the field, but with Jackie Moon in the wings, at least they had a sniper.
Apparently. Guys gonna believe all the shots. Oh, a sniper! Jackie Moon from about midway through. What a shot right here from Jackie.
Wow, good eye sniper. Yes, sir. Jackie Moon puts us on the right side. A little bit more to the left. This one would have been...
Here in this clip, we're going to get a great moment from a Pac-Man, and as a Pac-Man player, I was super excited to see it. We're going to hear a lot of praise from our commentators giving Mosey those compliments of choosing Snake against Pac-Man, a great counter pick. They were super excited to see a Snake on the field, but even without their blessing, Trollery does not yield.
Approach, but like you said, he's trying to play this safe because losing a stock right now for Concord would be really bad, and, well, a little bit of commentator's curse there. We kind of willed that one into existence. Oh, man. Oh my goodness! What?
Now I know what you're thinking. Oh, Septilence, how could that be all we got from weeks number 1 and 2? Please tell me there's more. If you like what you saw, you've got to go check out ECAC Esports on all social media platforms. Please see what they're bringing to the table. It is great collegiate esports week after week. And on the bright side, folks, this is just the beginning. We've got the whole rest of what is guaranteed to be a great season ahead of us. Thank you so much for joining me for this recap, and I'll see you on the next one.
Never break, always fight, never quit, do it right, play the game, win it life, have no shame, there's no time, feel the pain, live the grind, I could change, in my mind, pick a lane.
Now this finals is starting to get very, very interesting as Cal Poly Pomona has given the Fisher Falcons their very first map loss since, what was it, December? And so now we look to our third map of Pearl to see whether or not that magic is going to be magical continuing for them.
Yeah, that was since all the way December 13th. Shout out my mom's birthday. Also, shout out to all of the grandmas, the moms, the parents, the girlfriends, all of you guys out there shouting and being able to support the gang that's in these programs. So great to be able to see you guys out there. But a soft reflection onto map number 2. The key diff there. Rexigator threw. That Cypher pick just did not pan out. I think it was, what, 8 and 22? And there was no recovery power that really came back to it. And it was also Broncos just deciding to receive, repel, and overcome when it came to the Fisher Falcons. But we go to a more standard operating procedure, an SOP, if you will. Going into Pearl, this is a Fisher pick. This should be a Fisher special. A lot of teams, they saw Pearl and they said, okay, sure. And then it's about getting to B all the time. And A, if you really are a masochist, maybe if you want to get in there and be able to find yourself executing well, I think this will come down to controller play. I've seen this operate one of two ways. It's either Astra on one side or it's a Harbor Viper combo on the other side. I'm guessing we're going to see Astra on both.
Yeah, based on what we've just been seeing out of the VCTs in general, I mean, it's more than likely going to be that Viper Harbor combination going on to B. I think I read a ridiculous statistic that of the points being attacked, B was the choice 78% of the time. It just goes to show you how, I mean, because you can set B up for long and then it becomes so difficult if you have not, if you are the defenders to try and diffuse that. You send Gecko forward, especially with Wingman, right? That is an easy way to be able to protect yourself and actually get that spike planted. And we're already seeing some of that happening here between Cal Poly, Pomona, and Fisher. Dory's already whipped out the Harbor, which is a very funny coincidence between an agent built around water and the name Dory. I'm just saying, got to keep swimming. And there you have it, 2Zs on the Viper. So a lot of walls are going to be in favor of Fisher, and this is basically just the VCT special happening right there. This time, though, you're still seeing Rex Gator going back to the favorite of KJ. I do agree with what you said. That Cypher pick of the KJ was a very strange one. It obviously didn't work out very well for them. KJ is just so oppressive right now that if you don't choose her, it becomes so much more difficult to actually be able to make it work. On the other side, though, for the Broncos, a little bit of a different Cookie Monster. It's gonna be playing that Astra.
And I do like the Astra on this map. If you can, setting up for
Actually,
post. Well, I mean, they are playing Astra, right? Yeah.
Yeah, they are playing Astra, and Cake is playing Phoenix, which I think is interesting.
Yeah, that's gonna be very interesting and kind of cool depending on how it executes, especially off of Cosmic Divides. Because if there is ever anyone that is great at blinding a squad, not just on Pop Flash from Guiding Lights, but it's on curveballs. But if you're curveballing into a giant wall of stars, then it's just everyone behind it that's going to get blinded. So really good retake and post-plant defense that could be good for that particular, I guess, agent. It's very aggressive. It's also going to really pay off, especially because Phoenix, I mean, this is just a wide open site. If there's anything that's playing against them, this is water, and that's versus fire. And if Pokemon taught me anything, it's not good. That's a diff that's hard to take.
It is. I'm already seeing it. It's walls for days. Put them up, deny all of that vision, and welcome to 2023 Valorant. Looks like they've cleared their way. The orb comes up to protect them as they're planting that spike. Logan's gonna jump peek into there. Sure, they fall, but 2Z's more than happy to get the 2Z for themselves. They're still dancing around here. I picks up the third kill. Spike still being planted. Cookie Monster coming in, the only remaining member, but is actually doing a fantastic job at equalizing things back out. And they're gonna have to go up against a very weak 2Z, but they might actually juke them here. Hitting the reload, but the shots aren't gonna be found. 2Z misses both of those, and Cookie Monster clutches things out to give Cal Poly Pomona the first round one.
Catching way more than crumbs. Those are whole cookies left on the table. Cookie eat. And they're able to go grab and just get them all. My gosh, okay, straight up. Sometimes it comes down to individual talent, skill, and execution to get it done. And it wasn't much of a agent diff. It was simply Cookie Monster getting to receive all that coming out of that backside link. So job well done by Cookie Monster to keep the Broncos ahead, if only by a step. It was a bit of a brawl, and opposite of what the Broncos tend to do into these 4 stinger buys on round 2, it's pretty systematic for Fisher. They're just saying sheriffs across the board.
Sheriffs across the board, why not? Let's see if we can land some headshots. Unfortunately for Fisher, the heads have been kind of wily. They've been hard to pin down. They've been hard to land a shot on. Maybe they've been able to find their aim. Neo taking advantage of Rex Gator getting hit by the turret, wanted to take that out. A lot of damage put onto them, and I can't even see their health bar anymore on that scoreboard. I think the same can be said, too, for the Harbor. Yeah, they barely just have a lick of health. 2 HP, 3 HP, 5 combined between 2 of your members. Fisher, that's not gonna be good.
You could say bad things about them on the internet and they would die. That would just not. Oh, so if you can sneeze at them, this is basically War of the Worlds, and germs would be their end. Logan has a tailwind up, looking for a duel. They will see the kneecap of Haram, and then they see them drop to the ground. Cookie Monster will be able to swing out, but they are dropped as well by a bunch of sheriffs. This plan is at least aiming for box, and the creativity that comes from putting up this high tide is very tough to get around, as you do have a 3 HP Dory, which means they have to play for like almost immediate contact. Otherwise, or maybe even cat and mouse, or else these two are just set to die. 15 HP between them. There's the Cascade, but it won't be an elongated life pool, as they will be able to have the Firewall. Cake will have a bit of healing, and everyone else dies. And it's the turret that puts Dory down. Job well done to the Cal Poly Ponies, as these Broncos will be riding pretty fast through the first 2.
The Broncos could abuse range, right? That was all they really needed to do. They'd already dealt so much damage that the position that Logan was set up in was just not going to work out, especially not with that Spectre. I think maybe them holding on to the Spectre may have been a better, the Sheriff may have been a better choice going for the headshots. But regardless of whatever happened there, I mean, when Haram turned that corner, it was almost an immediate kill for them. Here we have it, though. Fisher down 2, but have guns in their hands. But they're going to be meeting a very aggressive Cal Poly, ready to go for this. Throwing out the fastball, but not able to get through the blind. Rex Skaters, guns, and Clorix are going to be getting some big kills of their own. And Logan has that quick peek, that quick sidestep to rum down to the ground. Now it's a 2v5 and looking like a very Fisher-oriented round.
This is a Logan that you cannot ignore and that cannot disappear on you, because when Logan went away and near the end of Fracture, this is when this Fisher team just completely evaporated. Well, it's very wet out here, so I don't see that happening anytime soon. It is a 5-1. They're looking to go flawless, and Cookie Monster just trying to inflict at least a little bit of damage. They do get the peek out, and it's very tough to fight a range battle. Uh-oh. They at least get the right click, but that was all of a decoy, as Tuzi is the trap card. Be able to get rid of them.
Hey, wait a minute.
They're just dancing on him. Look, they're just showing him some new dance move.
Yeah, we gotta get some dancing. Some dancing. And mix in with some tactical crouching, of course. Always very important to keep your crouch finger warmed up in case you need to use it at a moment's notice. Well, man, it's just pure simple science. Cal Poly. This is a big force buy from them. They want to go for the rifles and they want to go for the light shields. And honestly, with the way that things have been playing out for them, they've been. Yeah, actually, you know what? I'm gonna say no. They haven't been getting headshot that often, so I think I would have liked to see them save here and give themselves a better fighting shot in the next round. Otherwise, I mean, even if they lose here, they're gonna be tied, and if they don't win here, then they're gonna be ruined, and that's gonna be another round loss for them regardless.
This has been their pattern. They play off a mid-eco, and I don't know why. They have continued to say, all right, we play for maybe full util, but that's otherwise it. Mikey holding this very tight corner, and that's gonna be the clear off of Rex Skater. Clark is able to get at least a spray down and get rid of Mikey as well. Logan on the trade for Neo. So with 4 left alive, they've taken back sight. And this high tide will be able to protect them. That thing is, look, if you look at the minimap on that, it is like an MS Paint and a 5-year-old just went ham wherever that wall went to.
Hey, now you listen here, okay? This is a work of art, and I'm not just saying that because I couldn't do any better than that, okay? And if I'm going to be at the same level as a 5-year-old, well, I'm going to be very proud of it. I think Cal Poly has realized the errors of their ways, and instead of fighting this out, just give it up. Save your weapons that you have. Cookie Monster and Haram are making the right choices, and Fisher is going to walk away with a mostly intact team with only 1 lost. The good news is here for the final 2 remaining members of Cal Poly, they're going to work with some weapons, and of course we do have that Cosmic Divide along with the Run It Back, but the rest of the team are not so fortunate in their economic sort of banking, right? They are not looking very good.
Yeah, I don't want them to even buy that heavy shield, and I don't know about some of these other buys. I want this to be a bank statement that you look back on and you find investments. Because at this point, some of these mid investments, the Fisher have been able to steal. Very capitalist type of nature. They're going to just bring the water, bring the pain, as all of Pearl is starting to be overran by these Falcons. I didn't think that they could swim, but apparently they can. They're just waiting for the turn. That Cascade will drop as Cookie Monster is hanging all the way backside, but they double flashed them and their teammate. Lucky that it didn't get turned. Almost immediately Haram waiting for somebody to get aggressive, and they're just here in box, and they immediately get a headshot. One is in secret, and they're just going to spam through, but they get caught from outside of stairs.
Oh, Neo's aim is activated, living up to the namesake of that very famous movie character. Haram is going to continue to defuse even through the snake bite, and it's actually going to be possible. Wow. Right. As they fall, they still get the defuse. And that was insane here for the Broncos. That is a very vital round that they needed to win, but so throughout all of that, poor Cookie Monster's not able to make full buy, not going to be able to get rifle full shields. Mikey's going to go in a very sort of a gamble, in my opinion, to pick up that operator with those light shields, hoping to be able to find some shots on B long. That's heartbreaking, though, for Fisher. That looked like it was going to go in their direction, probably thinking that it was safe with the snake bite, but they stuck the defuse and realized they had enough HP to actually be able to make it work.
If there's anything I've seen work, or rather, oh my goodness, getting very aggressive. The curveball is going to get contact, but Logan just bodies him straight in the skull. Cake will fall early, and you actually do have the Hunter's Fury that makes some early tags, and Mikey just trying to see if anything will line up. They get just plainly sprayed down through the toxic screen, and Logan looking for more off of this stun, but it's Haram that finds two. Tuzi has to lay them out. And if there's anything I've seen off those snake bites, is that they just don't do enough damage without the poison orb. The lockdown now to try and repel everyone away, but the plant has occurred. You have to now find an escape lane if you're Tuzi.
Tuzi does have that escape route. It's going to be their Viper wall coming up, but I don't think they have enough time to get out of the detain, and so the team is going to have to keep them safe throughout it, and I think that's what that orb is going to be all about. Here's the Cosmic Divide once more to give them that safety of the smoke. As they try to hit the defuse once more, they're gonna be able to hold it! Neo! From one right ping-ponging onto the other head. A day has been saved as Cal Poly, the sort of last person taking up the mantle and closing out these rounds for this team, is standing up to Fisher once more. And this is starting to become a very convincing moment for the Broncos and how they've been playing.
There was 4 people jumping into that nebula. It was right foot in, right foot out, put that shorty in, and shoot it all about. And everyone that just dropped while you had a defender remaining and able to go and get that defuse. Just, you have to plant more or less as close as that, just waiting for them to come up to you, because you don't want to allow that much extra space, and that's why the nebula is planted to it. Mikey has been able, well, actually they had that operator, that strange investment. They've had to play through all these separate walls. This is just the most hectic amount of surfaces, and you have no idea where the Pathfinder actually needs to go. That's why the Seekers, or maybe the Regrowth, is actually being used right now to keep everyone topped off. They will not have the swing. In fact, another lockdown comes through. This is on the attacking side, but the Blaze Storm gets popped, and they take away the default plant side. That's going to be Mikey going to the heavens, and Rex Gator finding their doppelganger, and now able to get 2. This is a hectic fight. The defenders will be repelled, and that's Cake that's able to keep themselves alive. Multiple surfaces between them and the attack.
Spike still hasn't been planted. It's going to have to be Rex Gator to walk all the way back and pick that up. Chloric is up here alone, the tip of the spear with 13 HP. If there's anyone who's going to do it, you would want it to be the person with a low amount. Gravity Well to try and put Rex Gator over there, but you see just the little bit of the elbow, the smidge of it. And Cake, oh, that is just a beautiful moment for them. Chloric had to have heard that coming. Cake is unbelievable in their execution. Cal, Poly, Pomona. These finals are right in front of them, and they are gripping it. They are holding on to it with every single round that is being won by them.
5-2. This is Fisher's pick. This is a standardized map. Maybe not your regular collegiate special when it comes to Ascent and Haven and Icebox, but still, you're taking right now the map away from this heck of a good squad, and Fisher is just being absolutely overran You will have Tuesday that maybe is going to play around that Viper's Pit if they could be able to run it over into B, which seems to be the primary. They have the talk screen already cemented because you have the audible to play around that high tide with Harbor. Looks like they're at least going to pick into mid. We haven't had a lot of mid fighting, not a lot of art. They will at least get a look at Neo. They're going to force them to have to walk away because they get that aggressive. They've infiltrated deep into sight, but look at that deep side B link as well. You have to put up the cascade. Keep yourself doubly safe, especially because that talk screen is there. Neo playing from deep corner, and they will continue to retreat. They're giving up all this space as you have a 3-man swing coming right at you.
Ooh, scary moment here for Neo. They've been really good on capitalizing with these situations in moments that theoretically they shouldn't have won, but not able to make it happen this time around. Trying to take advantage of their teammate spotted out there. May have been able to save them or may have been able to get a kill. Cake's aim is as good as ever, and that run it back coming up big time with at the very least 1 kill on their side. Cookie Monster is alone on site. This Cookie Monster has been chomped. The 2v1, Mikey's first operator shot is going to find nothing but air. Now we have Cake making their way in through Secret. The spike is going to be planted. Now the retake to happen with little amount of utility that Count Polly still has left. Oh, Cake up on top. Susie's still going to take the duel and wins it out. That was just a 1v4 with Mikey and an operator, and Lucky Man, I don't know about odds, but that's not too good.
It's not. It is not the easiest thing in the world to retake with your only weapon of being the operator, so that's going to be a free upgrade. I think it falls in the hands of Logan. Actually, no, they decided they don't even need it. It's a very heavy weapon. It's a very kind of lean back against the wall and defend long B site type of weapon, and it doesn't lend itself to the versatility you really think it does, unless it's in the right hands. And let's talk about hands right now. The hot hand for the Broncos is running behind Cake. This Phoenix pick had to be hot. It had to be good, and so far it has been great. But it is Fisher that's able to at least tourniquet the bleeding. They've stopped him at the pass. The first 8, Fisher does at least bounce back 1. And if you're the Broncos, you want to continue to grind them to a halt, force these fights. But they took mid, and then they continued to just run around the links until they were able to get 2 kills. And that forced the Broncos to get separated and in a bad position.
Exactly. And once Fisher is able to dismantle them piece by piece, it all just really starts falling apart. Now it's going to be the Sheriff duo, but with them going off into this 1v1 direction, you're really going to have to hope that the aim is on their side, and timings are happening once more in front of us here. Neo is going to be a casualty over towards B-side. Tuzi is going to put Haram down in the ground along with them. Oh, the Seeker's giving the information that we need to look behind us, and then a quick pop flash! But Mikey's able to, at the very least, trade out their teammate. He's still going to try and make the push happen, but push has been stopped in his tracks. So too is Cake. Now Fisher starting to gain some very lost ground on their side.
Yeah, this is back to kind of the Fisher standard. But even though that we got to see this go 7-5 in one direction on the previous map, the bounce back by Broncos has been huge. This defense has been very responsive, and Fisher has been having to rely on that disruption. You have a Spectre in the hands of Cake, and I think that favors the style of very aggressive close quarters combat that this agent really does lend itself to. But look at the split. I think that we're going to be running some level of decoy to punish anything that comes up too early on B, but how lean we are towards A. Again, that decoy, look at the 3-man rotation already. You're leaving 1 behind on A. They think it's hardcore going that way because of getting the talk screen up. And now you have an ultimate off the board. They've completely mind-gamed the entirety of the Broncos, and this is a free A site.
Completely and totally free. Now going to be even more covered by a Viper's Pit. This is the domain of Fisher, and if you want to walk through us, well, hope you brought your gas mask, because things are going to get foggy. It's a bad dash from the Broncos. They really do want to make sure they're working together, and if you look over towards A main, there's going to be a battle breaking out there all by themselves to try and hold the line once more as Rex Gator coming up with 1, but Neo's aim still dangerous and deadly, and the most important thing here for the Broncos is that they've eliminated Viper, but still walking in, all being defended by the stairway was just nothing they could have done. Things have been tied up once more by 5. between these two teams, this is a finals that is going to be remembered, Monkey Man.
It really will be. I mean, and for a couple of different reasons, Fisher has been tested. This is something they've been looking for, especially because they're going into big national competition here coming up soon. And this particular conference competition as well, into this final. Broncos basically were on their heels. Not even just basically. They didn't even exist in the first map. Second one comes around. That's their pick. Disruption was key, and that was fracturing onto this as the pick of Fisher. They've had to be able to meet them in open ground. One thing they've really let go of is just how calm they were in previous instances. They allow themselves to get caught out a little bit too early. Logan for the spray down. They're going to be able to get rid of Mikey, and they're trying to see if anyone will be punished coming out. The lockdown does come out of B-Link, so they will retreat. And then you have the attacker lockdown that's going to try and do the same thing. It is this dance. We've got giant globes. It's a disco ballet. I'm here for the rock opera. They're trying to be able to put a globe down as well onto that cove, and Logan somehow survives with 1 HP. Trying for the spray down again. They want to get that vengeance on that HP bar.
Yes, they do. Cookie Monster walking in through hallway. Finds the very low Logan with 1. The spike still hasn't been planted yet, but why do you need to even plant the spike, Monkey Man, if you just take them all out? This is a very big moment for Fisher because they've managed to gain the lead once more. They're now looking at a 7-5 half, which is definitely something that they want to bring it into. This is this is probably, you got to give it to the Broncos for what they've been able to accomplish on the map choice once more of Fisher. And I'm going to echo what you said because, yes, the first map, Haven, really quiet from them. And a reminder, that was the map choice of Fisher. This is also the map choice of Fisher, but the Broncos are putting up one heck of a fight, sort of mule kicking these Falcons.
And we're not even saying that in terms of consolation prize either. Some people may think, oh, hey, we're saying that just simply to be like, okay, cool, like, good try. But that's not at all the case. They're forcing Fisher to go through their paces right now. Good Reckoning is able to clear out open sight lines, but you have a couple of kills from the Ares because Neo do big things, imploring the Matrix to be at their whim. Cake's able to find Rex Skater, and now this becomes all of a sudden, well, call it a 4v2 because of the health bars being very low. Cosmic Divide, they're gonna try and blast right on. They will have a hot hands straight in front of them. The defuse is not happening because they did put at least some util on site, waiting for them to execute. Mikey and the gang is waiting outside of Are they trying to stab him through the stars? What?
I think they are. I don't know what's going on here anymore. That is what's gonna happen though, is we have a 6-6 half here on Pearl. And a little bit of an interesting note to make, man. Probably Pomona, ranked number 33, the Collegiate Valorant Hub, right? So number 33 standing up to number 2 like this. This is a pretty good, in my opinion, case to make for the Broncos, starting to climb up that list a little more.
Hey, VAL Hub, you watching? You want to see how basically these guys are being tested? This is very akin to looking at NCAA like football charts and seeing Alabama never leaving the top, but then someone from outside the 25 gives them a run and very much could force them to run away. This is 6-6. The first half has gone away. The second half coming to play. Fisher is on defense. I want to see what this attack looks like. And they at least have that Sentinels, that turret out in mid to try and receive an aggressive Fisher. They conditioned them to be worried about taking up that space. Big wall bang shot off of that Ghost, and Logan will survive and be able to at least ruin one player for the Broncos.
This is what we love to see from Fisher. Oh, Cake's gonna take a page from the Logan handbook and use it back on them. Now able to pick up the ultimate orb, giving themselves an extra tick towards that run it back. Both teams suffering some losses here. Cal Poly is going to be the ones to suffer just a little bit more, at the very least in the health bar range. They're going to try and go for this B attack once more, and Fisher defaulting. They've left behind Cloric to be the defender and to be the one to alarm the rest of the team. Dory picking up on this information, though. It's going to give their teammate the support that they need in order to survive. It's a very good decision from them to make that happen. Oh, no way, Dory. Through the smoke, Monkey Man, they got 2 kills through the wall and the, oh my God.
just waiting to die. I thought he would. Dory! If there's anything...
Oh my god.
If there's anything a Harbor player knows how to do, it's shoot through weird walls. Because they're the ones that make them in the first place. And if there's anything Dory loves to do, is play off of just outside your flank. And ruining them. Getting 4 into that pistol round. And the last time we saw something like that happen, it was the very first round of Haven, and they never looked back. It was basically kill trading between him and Logan and constantly running the roost. So we got to see if that will boost Fisher forward. This defense has been really good. We're gambling. We got 3 coming all the way up into doors. They're going to try and go straight into a curveball, but you got Dory with a much better rifle. Can they come out with the better?
Cool. Stuck us out of a corner. They had to take those fights. It was going to end in disaster for them regardless. Somehow Mikey finds not 1, but 2, using but only a sheriff. The good news here for Fisher is they deny Cal Poly from being able to pick up that Vandal that was dropped. Neo, the alarm bot, now another swarm grenade. That gave RexGator all the info they needed to execute. Now all that's left is Cookie Monster, and they've been chomped.
Nom nom. If we don't nom nom after Cookie Monster gets the final kill, it's wrong. We got nom nom nom. All right, 8-6. So that's.
I want cookies now.
I do really.
I'm sorry.
Look, I've got some like chocolate chip caramel that are upstairs. Oh,
excuse me.
They're so good.
What?
They're also very sticky. Very sticky. Well, it's caramel, so they're kind of stuck to the pan.
Caramel.
Is it wait, are you a caramel kind of person? Caramel?
No, God, no.
Okay,
no,
all right. Just making sure. All right, cool. All right. Caramel's in the chat, by the way. If you're caramel, you're wrong. All right, going to the buy-up for the Broncos. They want to get aggressive, and I don't doubt. Okay, literally running straight into the sentry bot.
Oh no, Logan. Oh, okay. If there's anyone who's going to capitalize on that, well, it's always going to be the Jet player. Able to get in and out at a moment's notice. The wall just to get that little bit more of a buffer. Nice weapon upgrade is going to be happening here, I believe, for Cake. Not the worst thing in the world, and a very good bit of recognition from the Broncos to not push into the Jet that has been a problem for you many times. Oh,
Jiggle Peaks.
Till they readjust like that.
Yeah, Jiggle Peaks are actually playing much to the detriment of the Broncos. They're trying to go immediately, but Logan has just absolute crazy vision. Now, best look right now is they do readjust. They go away from Art to decide that is just not the best idea. Logan is found out by the sentry, and so they know at least someone's teetering behind him. But what a swing this could be. But the guiding light is able to suss them out. They're not going to swing all the way from back in, and Logan is holding true to their position in Art. So this is a tug of war. That spike is migrating very slowly from attacker side spawn all the way to B, and it's because of all this mid-link bonanza. They've only been able to get rid of one of the defenders, and now RexGator is caught in a cross pincer. They are receiving it very slowly, and they're trying to be able to take that fight immediately to Neo, who is dropped, and now RexGator is left into this swing as well. This bomb is just not being planted. They've won 2 fights. They're looking for a third, trying to ruin them, and they're going to find it. RexGator holds B all their own. Welcome to their house. You're not invited.
I love what RexGator was doing there because a lot of the success was pivotal on them surviving, because once KJ goes down, there's no more utility for them to use. The swarm grenades would have been useless. So you saw them being a lot more cautious, giving their teammates time to regroup, but their cautiousness was also interspersed with some moments of gambling with their life as well, right? Taking that fight against Neo was a big gamble, but one that paid off big time. And then just having to survive through Cake was another pivotal moment for them, and it worked out so beautifully. Now, Fisher working big time with the economy that they have, and if need be, can always use a Harbor ultimate to survive through this one. But you're just forcing Cal Poly into these moments where they're so slow, where they're so hesitant on executing.
Look how much trust they have in RexGator. I mean, they know the majority are here, and they know that it has to be a grouped up stack for the Broncos, considering their current low buy. But 4 of them onto B, which is, you know, like you were talking about, the higher percentage of hits on Pearl come through B. But on their lonesome is RexGator, but you do have Neo, who's crept all the way up into through Fountain, and I think they're making the call up, hey, I've got Link, I've got mid, come on in because they're near their sentry and no one's creeping in there. So they know all the bodies are up. Cake is going to use their running back. They're going to have most of their life taken away just outside of stairs, using the hot hands to also make sure no one at least sprints through the nebula. And they want to clear all the way to back secret. So they will respawn. Haram is able to get rid of Logan. Quite the power player to take off the board.
Quite the power play indeed, coming in through CT. Or sorry, attacker side. Anyways, Rexgator is still on here inside of Secret. Really good flick over to Mikey to land that headshot. Knows that Haram is hiding out inside of the corner. And this is what I was talking about, the Harbor ultimate to flush them away. Kind of appropriate, yes. Doing that, I guess. Neo blinded. The guiding light, though, the bullets are still being guided to heads. No more can be guided for them. As Fisher continues their lead now in the double digits, 10-6.
I believe this was a Sheriff kind of light buy round, one of the few that I've seen them do for the Broncos, and they were able to at least get the Reckoning off the table. So take what silver linings you can, but the silver lining that exists very thoroughly, and it's bright, it's shining, it's almost too undeniable to look at. 4 in a row since this half began. Fisher with a plan in mind. They have been able to receive. They've been confident in their sentinel of Rexgator, who is top of the stack right now. Had an abysmal Cypher play, or rather just like map when it comes to Fracture. But that is all of a memory, as they have been the linchpin of the success for the Falcons coming on to Pearl. And at this point, Broncos, if they do not get this round, because that is 10, I don't think there's enough momentum, eco, or even execution that could be able to carry them to get to 13.
It's going to be tough. A lot of pressure here onto the Broncos, who had an explosive start on Pearl, but the defense of Fisher is proving to be just too strong. Turret's going to take a couple of pot shots at Mikey, but just going to ignore it for the moment, looking instead to clear out the rest of sight. Rexgator in the back line, hiding out inside a Secret. Well, has planted down a Secret of a lockdown. That's going to put Cal Poly into a very rough position. Mikey needed to win out against that in order to remove that lockdown from play. Thankfully, though, here inside of Link is going to be Neo with a double kill of their own. Haram is now going to be attacking for themselves. A snake bite to delay them once more, and Tuzi's going to try and go for the stick! Oh. Double kill for Chloric, and one that was necessary, a vital moment for them to actually be able to capitalize on that. Now waiting to see where exactly Cookie Monster is. They've managed to find that information, but in the worst way possible, the loss of Tuzi. And Cookie Monster, unafraid as ever. And the round that was pivotal for the Broncos to win, have won it.
Broncos surviving on a razor-thin edge of difference. And right now, you will see them be able to buy at least some. I believe that we'll have rifles into the top 3, maybe light shields on the bottom couple. They've kept pace with Fisher. That one, I was challenging them to win it. It was very expensive, but you know what? Investments often are. And they're able to come out with at least 0.1% of the whole sum that they need. 17 rounds done, 18th on the way. Fisher trying to put their map pick into their back pocket, but it's been anything but a pocket pick. Logan hanging all the way up top side or right around column, but that Nebula is going to give some cover, and they're going to be able to extend their way out at least into ramp.
This is very valuable. The amount of space that they're taking away from them. And they're going to use the Hunter's Fury. It's kind of just like a insurance policy for them, making sure that everything is good and everything is a signal for them to actually be able to attack B side. But you're still seeing the hesitancy enter towards them once more. They don't know what the rest of B is looking like. Wow! Haram, a shot in a dream, and a reward to go along with it. Now, it looks like Cal Poly, even with that kill though, she's gonna make their way over towards A. They've done their damage, and they're thinking maybe that's gonna be good enough to juke them out, but no. Fisher is still firmly rooted on this site.
I mean, these two Killjoys they've put their toys down around A, outside Art, and on main side A, and they just haven't left. I've been looking at this, just have not left this minimap, and that is exactly why they haven't completely swung out. But now recognizing that time is not exactly on their side, they're going to look for the curveball. The hot hands actually to take it away, that backlink onto B. So they plant for long, which is a great position to actually do it, but the spray down is tough. They have to play against the timer, so the spike does get initiated. Clork and the lockdown defensively is going to be activated due into a 4-on-2. They can actually be able to make work of that space. And no, that's the attacker lockdown, so that's clearing even more space. You cannot go for that gamble play to stay on side. Cookie Monster may give themselves away. Do they get seen through a possible one-way? The stun, maybe? It's a two-man swing. Cake is able to get Rex Gator. There's only one left to go, and they take care of him. Clork hits the dirt. 2 gain for the Broncos.
Brilliantly well executed, and off the back of that initial pick from Haram, getting rid of Dory is so massive, right? You take away the harbor walls, basically you just take away all the nuisances of a harbor. That puts 2Z into an awkward position where, sure, they may still have their Viper wall, and that's a very important piece of kit, but once Cal Poly doesn't have harbor to worry about, that's when they decide to really push the envelope. And you saw that happen there, right? They masked themselves using Phoenix's wall, and more than happy to start fragging out themselves. And that was piggybacked off once more of the lockdown. And we see that Broncos have a lot of success when they use their lockdown. Up in the air, though, the Blade Storm trying to cause a ruckus, but instead, it's just a light breeze to be found.
The lightest of breeze. The little kunai, bit of Naruto action up in the sky. Trying to use the owl drone to clear out at least those backlinks from B. And that stun did come through on the Pathfinder as it is identified. Do they pop on it? Logan has 1 knife. This is going to be the one they put in their best friend. And we'll be across from them. Over the waterfall. These are a lot of weeb references. None of you are catching. It's fine. Grandmas and moms, shout out. But Mikey and the gang, they're just kind of wading down long ramp. And they feel very just kind of, hey, we're going to stick to this plan. And they have left Neo early and often about just being that flank watch. Haram gets rid of Logan. That's the one they got to operate on. The Seekers will go out, and that is off of the running back. That is the best investment we can get from the Broncos.
Yes, we can. Now 2Z, they're going to wait for the pop flash to go through before making their presence known. Oh! They're just going to get away with a double kill. Rex Gator on the other side. 2 for them as well, and then Dory sending us up into the air. You can see it there with the Araxis Vandal. Defuse happens, and now Fisher. Oh boy. All right, looks like we might be stopping some curses here. The latent curse might be deterred, maybe.
Could be a little latency if it continues to go a little bit longer here, but
I see what you did there.
Thank you. For every 1 step now that Fisher's gaining, 2 have been put in its place for the Broncos. So, gotta see if they can do that again. They can get 2, be able to just be off step away. They gotta be able to get more. Obviously, they would love to run some momentum. And we were talking about fatigue. We're talking about long series. We have not seen a timeout. Like none, 0, nada. This is map 3. And no macro game has been even in the thoughts, in the minds to be worried about between both these squads. Fisher, I would think less to be worried into that. But to this measure, we haven't seen Broncos have to be like, no, let's calm things down. They're going hand over fist to be able to go into this fight.
You got to do it. You got to put everything out on the table, right? That's no less than what Fisher deserves. But my, oh my. Is Clork gonna make them fight for tooth and nail? 2Z now 39 HP. Actually walks on the other side of that Astra smoke alive. Well and happy. It's gonna be a complete abandonment of that B site push. In a rare form going towards A once more. The turret is going to give a little bit of information if they decide to destroy it. But Neo is instead going to use that to their advantage. And instead, wait for a second here before pushing that moment once more. And actually, I say turret, but what am I saying? Rex Gator's off the field, so it doesn't even really matter. Neo's gonna fight it out inside of Link. Haram and Neo are gonna be casualties of this Fisher retake. The dog is gonna gather as much information as he can, blazing a trail for the rest of this team to make their presence known. Pop Flash once more gives them that information that Cake is, well, someone is hiding it somewhere. They gotta make sure to look to the left, please. Don't let Cake get away with all of this, or maybe on the other side of that, Cookie Monster to be the first.
Oh, the
Cake looking behind them. That timing was scary. The wall falls, and Dory along with it. But Tuzi was more than ready for their bullets to fly true, and Cake falls, and now Fisher, match point.
This was one positional error away of being perfect. The rotation was well read by Fisher, and Broncos were only seconds ahead of him. Neo had done the right thing of being able to move over to site, hold flank, especially from out of art, and they had their sentinel there. I just wish they had played more for life, because they're playing out in open from that art link into A, and that was the one thing that played against them. That's the numbers differential that came about at the detriment of the Broncos. But the woulda, coulda, shoulda right now. This has been very few A main hits. You're going to have the Guiding Light coming out as well. Logan is going to be able to already lay Haram to rest. And Haram has been one of those guys that's constantly been in Logan's backside. Cookie Monster gets Dory on the trade. That's stingers galore. And we are playing at a disadvantage of the Broncos. They have to run it down. It's a 3v2. Tuzi's gonna have to rotate all the way across to be able to help out Rescator, but what? What was that? Was that on
lineup?
All the way across?
Yeah. What kind of a lineup was that? 200 IQ. As someone who's been practicing their Viper on Pearl, obviously. Neo's gonna use the turret, try and draw a little bit of attention towards that, and of course, just doing KJ things, being annoying, and it's gonna be a lot of jiggle peeking here. With the way that time is running, it's starting to work against them. Using that Viper's Nest to try and draw things out, and it was all up to Tuzi. But boy howdy, Tuzi's not gonna fall under the pressure. Just in the nick of time. Fisher is going to be able to take us to that map 4 and bring themselves to series point.
Oh, championship point on the way. Pearl was a site of contention. It was starting to look like this one would be a fist fight to the very end, but a good old Mickey Rourke is able to come out of the corner and put a couple uppercuts, kidney punches, and take down their opponent. So that was map number 3. The series isn't done. If you're used to best of 3s, well, guess what? This best of 5 time. And we are one away here, Sam, from going into yet another pick by the Broncos. They wanted to go with the newest, most disruptive, most, I guess, non-conventional maps you could to be able to take down one of these Titans. And hey, you know what? We were talking about so much of the number 2 in the nation here for Fisher. Number 33 ain't bad, and they are really putting Fisher to work.
Oh, putting them to work and then some. That was a very close map that at one point looked like it could have gone in either direction. Fisher, though, being Fisher, were able to pull ahead, but, you know, after the map of Fracture, you really gotta, it was a moment of pause where you're wondering, could they make the miracle happen again? Could the Broncos do it? Fortunately, they couldn't, but they will have another opportunity, like you said, on our 4th map of Lotus. This is their last chance to be able to win and to be able to stop the assault of Fisher, be able to figure out if they can do that after this break.
Notions, and we're willing to listen to our membership and read the room, read college athletics and how it's connected and how it's not, and take what we have expertise in championships, but also throw out some of the other stuff. I remember when we first started, there were some conferences were applying their amateurism rules to all of their esports competitors, and I think we knew enough to know that no, that's not going to work in an esports culture. It's got to be very different. And by the way, the NCAA was going in a different direction. You could see the train had already left the station on that, and so it's an incredibly dynamic area and ever changing, and will continue to change. And just as we didn't know when we started what it's going to be looking like, I think similarly we still don't know what it's going to be in another 5 years. I know enough to know that all of us are still going to have a thriving esports program that's doing a real good service for our members and for our competitors. But we still don't know necessarily what some of that is going to look like, and that's pretty cool about it all. Let me ask you this, because so you all are used to, dealing with your athletic directors, and each of them are dealing with what's in front of them in their athletic departments. My guess is at least some of your schools are that this is not necessarily operating within the athletic department. And can you talk about how you navigate that in a conference office, and maybe the best way to handle that, or do you have preferences? Do you try to steer them one way or the other? And just talk a little bit about that if you don't mind.
Sure. The majority of our schools are not under the athletics umbrella. We have one institution that perhaps by next year will be under the auspices of athletics, but most of them are in other departments across campus. Right. One of the things that has helped us is that we have support from the president's office. And so in order to participate in Mountain West events, you have to have an adult non-student administrator that oversees that, the eSport program. And that's where we get assistance with, eligibility checks and, please complete your roster, things like that. I don't know in the future, and it depends on, who's sitting in the athletics director's chairs, whether or not more eSport teams will go under the umbrella of athletics. And I'm kind of indifferent in terms of whether it should, because I don't want eSports to go down the road that some conventional sports have gone down with the NCAA. So we have a unique opportunity to kind of craft eSports in a way that fits what eSports is, as opposed to trying to fit it into a conventional athletics box, so to speak.
Right.
I think the success of our program and getting participation is exactly that. The fact that we're not tying it in necessarily to athletics and NCAA eligibility. Like Carolyn, we probably have 3 or 4 schools that are under athletics. And I know it puts them in a difficult position sometimes trying to make some decisions. I got a request recently to consider allowing part-time students to participate during this year, because some schools struggle sometimes to fill out all the games that they want to play with us. And we held off on that for now. We defer to the institution and say, what's your policy for those that are under student development or activities? What's your policy for allowing students to participate? And if you certify that they're eligible under your current policies, then that's good for us. I also think, and I was part of some of the conversations early on with the NCAA years ago about the NCAA getting involved as a Division II representative, and I was crossing my fingers that wouldn't happen, just because I think this needs time to grow, and expand.
Can I ask Bob a question, because you mentioned part-time enrollment, and one of the things that we've done here is that as a conference, we've just set eligibility standards, full-time enrollment, making progress towards your degree as the institution defines it. Are you guys doing something like that as well? Because we've gotten that part-time enrollment question and we've said no. Yeah,
no, I don't think we've gotten that far down the line, Carolyn, to ask for that. I think we kind of put it on the institution, but we do say that the student has to be a full-time. Now, they could be a full-time grad student, but they have to be full-time as from what the institution decides.
Yeah, our eligibility requirements are just as simple as can be. You have to be a full-time student in good standing.
Yes.
And after that, and that's about it. Now I think we wanted as few impediments to getting this thing rolling as possible in the outset. I do think as schools get more competitive, they will start to distrust one another. And that's why we have this 500-page NCAA manual, because schools distrust one another. But we're not there yet. Right now there's still a collective, let's move this forward. And the fact that the NCAA is not administering it, I think, is really helpful to the growth of it all. And yes, we allow grad students. We don't even have a 4 or 5 year clock. If you are full-time enrolled for 10 years in good standing, you can do, and why not? Why would we not say that that's okay? Now, eventually, like I said, we may change our minds if the schools require it. They say, no, this is crazy. Look what they're doing. over there. We don't like, but I think we're still a long way from that. Alex, do you have anything?
Yeah, I mean, I echo everything that really Carolyn has said. You're gonna have to forgive me. What was the original question? It's been a minute. I know. I'm sorry.
Well, just kind of what you set out to do, and then what maybe the realities of it all.
https://twitter.com/Septilence. Don't put that in. I'll get in trouble. So that's worth it. Did I get too close to the camera on that one? A little bit too close. Should I? Oh, should I back up a little bit? Okay, sorry about that. My bad. I've been awake for probably close.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back. This was a totally legitimate break and not an excuse for us casters to go and grab some cookies. Just kidding. We're now on championship point here for... Oh, my goodness. Look at that. Showing off the Teddy Grahams. All right. Fisher, one map away from being able to seal these finals and put it away. But, of course, the Broncos here are doing everything possible to make sure that that does not happen. And on Pearl, a very valiant effort to bring that to a possibility. It just wasn't quite in the cards for them. But we've seen what happens on their own map pick. We saw it happen on Fracture, and now we go to it again here with Lotus.
Lotus, one of these maps that it's both very lateral, very long, but also very claustrophobic. I'd say that every single site is probably the most clinched in type of situation that could be possible, because you go into B, I've been told by our production staff here, as well as just basically everyone, it is a nightmare to have to see anything going in there. When you go to A, you have so much space that is taken up. It's kind of like having mid-B long on Haven, but are just basically all of Breeze and trying to run through that gauntlet just before you get over there. When it comes to C, it's basically a fortress of solitude. So can you get to site? Can you take it over? And can you hold it? That's the name of the game in its entirety. But this one has the makings of being just disruptive enough, just uncomfortable enough for the Fisher Falcons that I could see us getting propelled into a Game 5.
I can see it too. It all just comes down to whether or not the mentals for Cal Poly Pomona are there. And I think a very necessary break too, to have a moment. Think, ruminate over all that you want to do. Fisher over here, well, they don't need any time to ruminate or think. They've locked it all in, and this is going to be a rough one here for Cal Poly Pomona to have to break through two controllers. And Harbor honestly makes a lot of sense, right? You bring back Harbor, you have the walls, very vital to going on to C or A, and then 2Z on the Viper is going to cover whichever angle is going to be needed for them to actually be able to execute. So you kind of like slicing the pie, right? You use the Harbor walls to entry, Viper to cut off the actual site itself. Cal Poly Pomona, interesting agents that they're hovering over, especially with the choice of Cake on the Reyna. They decide to make that a choice.
It's a wild card choice, and it's one that is going to be locked in. This is your wild draw 4, and this is just before Uno. So if this does not pan out, that is the crux that will ruin the Broncos on the back end of this game number 4. However, I was talking a lot of concern when it came to the Phoenix, but I've seen Phoenix execute. If you have someone that has Reyna as a comfort pick and they are able to get out there and take out space, that is huge. Especially because this is a let's take defense and let's absolutely just hammer fist someone with it, because we got a breach and a raise. You don't have the same raise paint shell execute along with grasp that comes with a fade, but you have let's get loud. let's burst through and let's be able to kind of run down that want to control the grid-like type of atmosphere that you want to do with 2 controllers. With the Reyna, it's enough to pop through those walls with the Lear, get that kind of explosion, and it will very much be up to those 3 to be able to control each of these site takes. But I don't know. We got these guys that have been basically studying the pros all the time. Why not? They're one of the best in the nation for a reason. So maybe the conventional will be able to overcome the non-conventional.
Hopefully so. At least for the Broncos, if this is the comfort choice that they want to go with, and if this is what they think is going to lead them to the path of great success, well, then I hope and wish for their great success with that. But of course, Fisher, as always in these pistol rounds, it is push W and go forward as far and as fast as we can. But it's going to be a ringer of a time to get onto B. The only one left is going to be poor Rex Gator all by themselves. One out in the initial battle that they took, but couldn't make the second one happen against Mikey, who has that 3K. Cal Poly Pomona once again proving that if it's their map choice, well, there's a reason why it is, and this is a very good reason, a very good start.
I can count on one hand how many times I've seen a Boombot kill this semester. And it's only moved up through about 4 fingers. So in case that math is tough, it's 4. And that was one of them that was able to help out off of the Paranoia stint from that mid. Usually off of the Sentry, you do have the Killjoy lurking. But no, they played straight to the execution of having that that nearsightedness come up. So Neo's going to hang on to C, have their full util kit, and just be hanging out as well. So great looks already in round number 1. Fisher, you said they liked the W key. They definitely ran straight to death. So, gonna see if maybe they keep their stamina up.
Hopefully they can. Mike, he makes the swing, so just a little bit of the toes of Tuzi. That Bulldog, well, the bite matches its bark. On the other side, though, Neo's gonna walk away with a kill on this Stinger. Did a boatload of damage, too, with that. Chloric is using this Marshall, trying to find some headshots. Anything with whatever they can, but the death of Dory, the loss of the spike. Rank Skater's gonna try and use that range with the Sheriff, but that range has been denied from them. Cake gets the 3K and proving to us why that Reyna was their choice. And so far, I mean, things are looking good here for Cal Poly. A flawless round 2. And now they're looking to make that bonus round a possibility. Just needs to stand up to the Fisher guns.
Yeah, there's gonna be an arsenal difference, but this is the most comfortable kind of bonus. You come off of a flawless round 2. That's the best outcome. Right now, 4-0 is Mikey, and their duelists are doing work that duelists need to do. Also, speaking to it, Chipotle guy has come in from Chipotle, maybe got their belly filled, and that is actually the sub-in for the Broncos. So maybe there's a bit of that difference to work along this map. Maybe that's the comfort zone that they're bringing with some of this trade-in player. The ringer, if you will. But that's open space take as they go outside rubble. And it was an arsenal diff for a reason as they're taking good shots.
First we got Cookie Monster. Now we got Chipotle, guys. So I guess you can draw the conclusion of what I'm really hungry for right now. Well, I was hungry here for Cal Poly to be able to take the win. Cookie Monster with Justice Spectre, I don't think is going to be able to make that happen. Unless maybe they can catch Logan out, but that's going to be a difficult one. But difficulties are not to be found for Cookie Monster. They execute onto that and are going to be able to get an upgrade for their efforts. Taking the long way around is Dory. Maybe catch off Cookie Monster. They still have one heck of a time ahead of them with the spike being planted and in a 1v3. Especially with this long wraparound from Dory. Sees a free target for themselves. Clean headshots are abound. And a victory as Fisher gets the first round on Pearl.
I love the Dory double take. Just what? It's very much the Home Improvement soundtrack. Almost immediately. None of you are alive to see that. That's fine. So 2-1. I mean, Sam was. But 2-1 going into our 4th. And this one will be a gun round. Odin, Mikey, don't be weird. But maybe. I would respect it if you picked up an Odin. But either way, I want to see the Broncos find consistency. They've been able to do it for a couple. But they have to show me that they are also winning the straight-up fights. They've been able to get clever, get quirky with Fisher. And making use of these high tides, these cascades as well. that allows them to go and get their ult economy built up, and they want to work around those lockdowns because they can open up mid. And also, if you propel this one, you have a 3-man swing. Are they winning these straight up duels? Yes, they are. Cake and Mikey find a couple, but Mikey hits the floor. It's a 2v2 trade.
There's only one way left for Cake to go, and that's going to be stuck there. They can use the harbor wall to push themselves forward and even get a kill on top of that. Put a Devour, get your health back. It just gets better and better here for Cake. And now we're seeing exactly why that Reyna choice was made. And so far, a very good one. Firing blindly through the smoke. It really is just down to luck and sometimes hope. A little bit of skill to go along with it, though. You got to know where the players are going to be standing. And for Cake, yeah, it all came up big time in their favor. This is going to be Fisher saying no to A, saying yes to C. The only thing that's going to be finding them out there is the turret, but maybe the turret. Yeah, okay, the turret's going to find them out. Neo realizes that, so now they're going to come in through mid. It's going to be that 2v1. The Swarm Grenade is going to try and stall things out here. Neo on the other side, Breakskater setting themselves up towards back site.
Spike planted.
The 2v3. This is going to be scary.
Oh. It's even scarier when Breakskater is in your back line. Oh, getting caught with the paranoia in your hands. Oh, Breakskater has been ruinous for these squads. The alarm bot's going to set him off. Neo will be given away. I haven't seen them clutch up yet. That doesn't mean they can't. They have eyes on target. They have to round the corner. Neo, we'll see the sentry bot. Basically a totem pole stack of horror. This is a horror genre if I've ever seen one. So that will sit the Broncos back down. It's just so scary. You spin a corner and 3 people go, wah, and then you just die.
That was a top 10 jump scares in video games, #1. That was a big fumble from the Broncos, right? They were in a pretty good position, 3-2. Had a lot of the utility still available to them. Obviously, that paranoia that was about to be used by Cookie Monster. Fisher College, they're just so... Once again, it's a team that's so good at being able to recover from moments where they should not be recovering. And somehow Cake is alive from Logan with an operator shot. Must have touched the toes. Chipotle, though, well, they just got chomped on big time. We don't have no more Chipotle to be found.
Not gonna lie, Chipotle's mid. I would never be proven wrong. Oh, Seekers, though. Prove that someone is here. Playing more cat and mouse. Neo's getting caught out, and they're gonna be pincered in. As Breakskater and Dory pick up 2. Now this is a save round. You do have a shorty, some damage. It was like 10, 22 the shield, and a flawless round is what Fisher follows up with after winning on top of the gun round prior. So we'll go into a gun round swing here in the eco buy. But this is, again, Broncos pick. They were playing for the abnormal. And that's something that, hey, I get it. You got to get these guys away from the Collegiate Classic, and they have to win it, though. Logan on that one shot, though, as you just have Chipotle trying to pop, just jump swing, see what he can find. Those are such good shots. Like, shout out to people that can hit those because it just tears you up. You're like, I'm just trying to see, and you don't get to play the game.
I just wanted to play the game. Nah.
No.
No. Sorry. This is actually something we haven't seen very often, though, from Fisher. The full C-site push is usually just go and pick up the ult orb, which was almost picked up. There we go. Now they're I think they realized that, hey, wait a minute.
You should run.
AJ already has their ultimate. Entering in with the lockdown, the only person that's going to be on there is Neo. Mikey wants to use the rotating doors. You can see that it was in their mindset, but you can't really do it not through that lockdown. Logan saw Neo, who could not get away, realizing that, whips out the Sheriff, takes on Cookie Monster, kills them first, then whips out the side piece, gets their second one. And this is just Cal Poly Pomona being taken apart piece by piece. Oh my gosh, now they're hunting down Chipotle guy. That was just no hope.
Welcome Chipotle to the finals, honestly. Like, you weren't here in the first 3. Game 4 comes around of this best of 5 series, and suddenly Fisher's like, oh, fresh meat? And they just are running at him. So, Fisher running with all gas, no brakes. Breakskater here at 7-2, which has really been, again, that linchpin for success for Fisher College. see this eco that comes in. They're forcing into it. I don't agree with this. I know you don't want to get stuck in the cycle of suffering and but you have to ultimately take your battles when you can. Logan ruins Neo. So they went all the util. They can basically enter Site C for free, recognizing that Killjoy is gone and that they've conditionally just been having them be the lone person on this site. So they enter. This is basically a field trip at the museum. They get to see the sights, the sounds, and no one's really disrupting their party.
Nope. Kate can't see a dang thing. And guess what Fisher's going to do? Back over towards Mound and just fight from there because they don't really need to risk their lives for anything else other than that. While you have Tuzi on the flank of a dang lifetime. Mikey Pop's the showstopper, but once again, it's an empty site that they're gonna have to contend with. Meanwhile, so much damage from the swarm grenades, they just have to wait. That's all Fisher has to do. The wall is gonna protect Chloric from even being found out, and they can play that perfectly to themselves. Logan's gonna come away with 3. Tuzi in your back line. There it is. The flank that finally pays off. A little rough for Fisher to be able to win that out, and it looked like it was going in Cal Poly's way, but look at that economy. It's not too good. Forcing that by, that was the round they needed to win, but it's just Cal Poly makes these weird decisions when it comes to their economy, and it's coming back to bite them so hard right now.
If I could run a macroeconomics class as a sub-tier professor or even grad student about how to use your money, it would be CPP right now in the negative state. I would not recommend what's going on with them, but that they're playing around a hero rifle and they were able to play this aggressive into these mid-eco buys for the majority of Fracture. Now that's a whole different ball game. Neo receives Logan, who cannot hit their shots off of an AR, and they get put down Wild West style.
Okay, Orc on Mount. Still gonna take a couple of pod shots. Even with the gun advantage that they have, Fisher is going to give respect to Cal Poly's name and give C a little bit of breathing room, put the pressure on towards A. And it becomes even more of a reality for them to make that happen with Tuzi winning out in a battle in mid. Not even a battle, more so just a fight that they just really didn't expect. Rexgator has the operator. Oh, saw the tip of the barrel. Misses the shot though. But if you look over towards the other side, Cake inside of that Empress, they've been dethroned off of it. That's gonna have to make their way. The swarm grenade there. Rexgator watching with that operator. You can see that Cookie Monster was making the decision. Do I want to join them? Do I want to join my teammate? What just happened? No, I don't. I'm gonna back away. Neo has 34 HP. The swarm grenade is gonna be put down. Forces them to jump up. Really good adjustment. Rexgator, how do you do things like that?
That's gross. No way. They're like, oh, shots are being fired from here. They did not see them through the dark cover. They simply were like, their body must be in this particular area. Boom. And it worked. Our first time out, believe it or not, ladies and gentlemen, of the entire series. Recognizing the importance of this. We finally see, through happenstance, but through macro gaming, the Broncos slowing down. Not just to make sure this momentum doesn't carry forward into our 9th round, but also to talk about it because they've just completely lost their heads in this map.
Completely, totally, and utterly have no idea how they want to go about fighting against Fisher. Remember, this is their map choice, and so when you choose Lotus, there has to be a plan and a strategy in how you want to execute onto this. And I'm going to tell you right now what I think is really working in Fisher's way. The double control. The Viper and the Harbor, right? When you have 2 controllers like that, you're able to, well, live up to their name. You're able to control so much of the map. And we've seen so many times about how Cal Poly gets a little noodly on their feet whenever a Harbor wall comes up or whenever a Viper wall comes up. And so when you're able to stall things out big time like that and give yourself, as well as Fisher, a chance to set up on site or to cover yourself going away from that. I mean, we saw that Chloric was hiding out in a corner one time on the opposite side of Mound, and they come away with a big win. So hopefully with this timeout, Cal Poly has been able to figure out what exactly they need to do in order to find the success that they need for Fisher. I really think that, well, that's a bold move and something that I like from Cookie Monster. Going for these aggressive plays rather than giving up all of this space.
Get a lot of damage there. That will work out. So they have a Sky that cannot heal themselves and thus is in a rough position. Rexgator just is a boomstick incarnate. Cake does clear Logan, and because they had very little HP, able to make sure that they just finish themselves off. Dory is going to ruin them again. They're just not making use of these flank positions, and Dory is. Don't clear your corners. Run straight to sight. They're being so distracted by the main dish, they forgot about the sides. Sometimes the sides feel like the main course, and Dory comes back in as absolutely lethal. That, it's a non-methodical way. They want to rush, they want to execute, they want to do what Fisher was doing before and get that oppressive, pressuring space taken up. Then they forget themselves and they forget who's left.
Always got to make sure that you keep an eye on someone needs to be keeping a track of what players exactly are doing. Sometimes you get into that tunnel vision where you think you're clear, you think you've done everything that you can, but someone's just lurking that entire time. That should have been a moment of signal that nobody checked that corner, and really that's what won Fisher that round. The Broncos were doing an excellent job at clearing through, Cake in the back line. Then even more so as they were continuing their approach once more. The Rolling Thunder was expended, but it's still big. It's bigger wins for Fisher than just being able to win out on that, because they got a lot of valuable ultimates, and now they're able to continue their forward march as Cake by themselves has to try and hold on to the site. But how do you caught them out in the middle of a jump peak? Logan, I need to take the aim class from them on how to land shots, on how to get good, kid.
I wish someone would tell me how to do that when it comes to Dark Souls, let alone this game. Chloric clears Mikey. They're waiting on the drop as well. That's 2 jump shot kills, by the way, for Logan. They're able to do the same thing to Chipotle. A little extra BM play as well, as you do have them into a 2v5. Make it 1. Gotta go maybe into an ace, and of course it's on the judge. Gavel down. It will not take up anything extra. As soon as they peek on it, it's going to be rough. And Neo does get 1 as Dory will come up into it. And they're trying to spray them, but dropping off the stairs. This is just fluid. Fisher, last time we saw them 8-2, they were able to ramshackle this Broncos group into a 13-4 win on Haven. Doesn't look like they're going to be stopping anytime soon.
Now there's very little cash in the bank here for poor Cal Polytech. We have 1 Vandal, no shields, 2 Bulldogs, heavy and light, a Stinger light shield, and a Vandal full. Not what you want going into round 11, where things are starting to get really heated. Cake on the flip side, though, that 1 Vandal is actually able to win out against Tuzi. And with the way that things are stacked up on A, you've scared away Rexgator of all people. And so now we're going to see Neo expend the lockdown at a very good moment. And the Broncos? This is big for them. Okay, I got scared for Logan there. I don't know how Cookie Monster didn't eliminate them. But yeah, pushing them away. Now we're going to have another lockdown expended. It's a disco party.
It's an absolute, you have the full crystal balls up on top. And they do put the attacker one just on the other side of the fountain as well. That means everyone is just waiting on backside. So there is no flank. You actually do have flank watch because of the sentry, but they're not going to matter. They're going to throw that one all the way yard as Dory does drop. Look at them clearing corners. I'm big proud. Rexgator has an Odin, though. There's an Ogo, but they're cleared from opposite side of the turn. So the buy up, the force up, pays off, and they're going to have just enough money to make sure they have a full arsenal in their back pocket. And they could be able to get to a 4-8. That'd be good looks. This particular map can be rough. Rexgator, though, has been an absolute controlling demon as a Sentinel 12-4 off of that Killjoy. And like you were talking about, being able to create not disruption through mechanic, but through simply good util play from these talk screens from the high tides of this Harbor and this Viper. Holy cow! Mikey has to run away. He was about to get mowed down.
Mikey should be counting as lucky stars that they're even a player on the map anymore. It's all breaking down here onto A, coming in through root now into rubble. Unbelievable execution from Fisher. Anyone who was breathing on A is not. And now Cookie Monster has to tell the horrifying tales of what just happened here. The snake bite, they're going to take a smidge of damage from that, but holding firm, they're going to wait for the timings before they make their approach once more. I think even then, Tuzi still kind of has the ideation that someone has to be there. Yep, Cookie Monster throws forth the cover, but now hit with the flashbang, the pop flash, the death, a flawless round from Fisher, wiping the mistakes of last round out of their mind, and now we're sitting at a 9-3 half in favor of Fisher. But you know what, Monkey Man? There's a reason why it's called the 9-3 curse, and now that we have the Broncos beginning their attack, potentially they could be able to do the same thing that Fisher just did to them.
It's very true, and we need to see this pistol round go well, because honestly, I would think into it. If you're the Broncos, you get a timeout per half. If you can get a favorable one, even if you don't get a favorable one, timeout almost immediately. Just be able to put it kind of in expectation of what's going to happen into this map, because it feels like everything has spun out of control against the Broncos since that turning point. I think it was like 11-8 or so against them on Pearl, and it has not gotten back to it. On this one, it was close inside the first 5. After that, runaway freight train. Every cart is filled with coal, and look how quickly they turn this into just math on A. So dissected is that that link. And now everyone kind of stuck in mid. They're trying to have that thoroughfare of the door and want to run it over into C, but that spike is going nowhere fast.
It's kind of just chilling there. And Tuzi is going to use the KJ utility to their advantage. Instead of relying on a swarm grenade, it's going to use the snake bite. And it's a little micro play from Fisher that's just sending the Broncos reeling. Cal Poly doesn't really know where they want to go, and the reads are so perfect from them time and time again. They hear that the walls are coming up, and if you have aim like Dory to put Mikey down to the ground like that, all by yourself, where they're kind of going in one at a time, I think that the Broncos, they kind of need to work on the way that they fight these out for themselves to be able to win. All that's left is Neo walking through, and so is Cake. Cake is going to try their damnedest all by themselves. The lone duelist already got 2. But 3, make that 3. I don't know how to count, but they got 3 before finally falling. Now we have Fisher, 10-3, sitting in the double digits, and should be able to convert this round with the guns that they have.
Extra tactical crouching, making sure that you never skip leg day. We are, some of you rotated differently. Wednesdays and Tuesdays, pretty good day for it. Apparently tonight, very good time for it. The Falcons are 3-0 away from being your ECAC Valorant champions. They are so close. They can smell it. They're getting that confidence. And look at this force up buy. This could have repercussions across the entirety of the remaining of this map. All these stingers, and they're not even clustered up. They will have the sentry bot go down. Mikey's getting very aggressive. Rex Skater is hanging on tight and just spraying through, but they're gonna try and chase him. They're gonna get that dismissed. What a great job. They actually have the paint shells. They're trying to be able to put the snake bite out there. Everyone is vulnerable, and that's gonna be another one dropping and hitting the dust. Cake gets rid of Tuzi. Now Cake is trying for more. Get an extra slice. They have the spike right in front of them. Those extra shots actually give them a warning, and they're gonna be able to put down. Chloric comes up big into this 2v1.
Now all that's left is Neo. Still has to go get the spike. Chloric and Dory, look at how they've positioned themselves. The second that Neo tries to go around that corner, it is going to be a battle for the ages. The orb, why not? Just put that up and give yourself some time to push forward. You can see that the weapon goes down. Chloric on that high ground. Neo was looking for 1, but there was 2. Nothing to be gained from them. Now, Fisher, 1 round away. Not only from match point, not only from series point, a championship point. Tantalizingly close. Now, because of that small amount of force by Broncos, they can only get these stinkers.
They are now stuck in force by hell. They are constantly going to be buying into this. Util seems to be the name of the game for Cookie Monster. Make sure they got the paranoias and the smokes to try and delay and dismay when they get onto site. And running it down B is the only thought process. Unga bunga W key, and here we go. They are being staved off by the toxic screen. Mikey will be first entry. The Pathfinder will identify them, get that stun up on top of box. Looking for the dismiss so they can get a little bit of extra but no scouting to be seen as the dark cover does drop. Choosy on the respin, and that's gonna be Neo that does get some big value off that Stinger. Re-hit off of the Spectre as they do find the Guardian taking down their friends, but now into a 3v1. The Broncos staying alive. Cloric will use Seekers, trying to put themselves on that big point. Ultimate does fall early. Both Jellyfish will just simply die, and that'll be the same thing for Chipotle Guy. One extra into this 1v1, and that will be the one that Cake wins, and the one the Broncos needed.
Ooh, Cake. That was beautiful from them. That entire round, the movement that they had. They got on top of crates. And I don't think Fisher was expecting that, right? They didn't expect Cake to be that fast to get onto there. And the big crux of that situation was that Cake was able to pick up the Empress just in time to win them out in that one. So because Cal Poly won that, they're able to buy some weapons, and this forces Fisher to delay their victory once more. And the more that they can delay that, the more that they can bring themselves back up into meeting them and to potentially still winning out here on Pearl. Not an easy task, but I wouldn't say quite impossible yet.
Look at the gamble stack coming out, though. Cake is going to have a triple swing moving against them. Recognize that there's quite a few bodies over there. Cloric pre-fires into the corner. Coming outside of that link, Mikey will be able to trade out Logan. So there goes one, and the Paranoia is going to flash them away. They do have those pocket flashes to at least create that kind of space, and this is a save round into Fisher as they want to run with all that extra momentum here, Sam, but going straight back to the fight. They want to see if they'll kind of a West Side Story with them. Bit of extra snapping. B is name of the game right now. Rexgator is very, very low, and this is one that you really think the Broncos not just gotta win, they should win based on this advantage, but we've seen them blow these leads before.
We have seen them blow these leads before, and you really have to hope with the weapons that they have in their hands are not gonna be able to do that. Fisher here is just looking for kills, and the more that they can get away with, the more damage they can do to the economy, the better. Now it's all about clearing through and sweeping through, but I don't know if that's gonna be the best idea here for Cal Poly. Look how much space they've given up in trying to protect themselves. Wait a minute, the timing! And this is what I was saying. Cloric was able to walk away with another one in their pocket. 2. Now to walk down the weapon upgrade. 3. Still has to win out!
No way.
No way, they get the ace! That got too dangerously close. Way too dangerously close for Cal Poly. And now, not the best of situations. They can still make buys, but a lot of damage done to the economy. And now Fisher is gonna meet them in the gun game.
Will, and there's going to be at least a AR and light shield buy for Neo, so they will have weapons. The util's going to be looking kind of rough shot. They do have Chipotle that was able to survive the end of it, and they got to build simply upon themselves. They have been straight up just going B, executing and conditioning, but now they're trying to push in. That's going to be a snake bite that's simply ignored. The GAC, not want none of that. You have this high tide up as well. Tuesday's going to run its way into tree, but they may simply ignore all of that as well, coming on how they want to dissect through these walls. And there's just so much controller-centric nonsense out here. You have a maze to work through, and these Broncos are, in fact, mice.
Hopefully they find the cheese at the end of the maze. Caught out with the Paranoia. Tuesday, very scared. Once they're fishing back, they couldn't quite capitalize on the flashbang here. Mikey sees everything, and heads are flying one after another. Already a lockdown being expended from Cal Poly gives them complete control of this A site. That's a go-ahead signal for the rest of the remaining survivors of Fisher to begin their retake. Logan in the back line is going to have to go through a lot. If they try to go through the revolving doors, right, it's going to give out so much noise. They realize where they're going to be coming from. Rexgator through CT. Cake is waiting. Oh, but the first shot! They couldn't make it happen, though. Cake crouches down, throws off the aim just enough to be able to win out there. Devours, gets their health back. Logan's still going to make the push, but the other side, it looks like they're not going to be able to say the same thing about their teammate. Cloric is out of there to save that weapon.
This is exit kills on Logan's part. Looking for anyone that wants to try and duel against them, but no, they're just going to use that tailwind and get out of there because they're realizing that they're on the eco disadvantage right now. And job well done to the Broncos. They knew they had to chase this buy up, and they are able to get another one. That's 3 in a row. We'll have 2 hero rifles and some saves for Fisher. Now, I've seen situations like this before. 11-6 seems promising, but promises are built on simply hope. You got to make sure that you get through it. Cal Poly Pomona, they've been able to grind it out. Now, I mean, let's look at the way that it was done on the attack for Fisher as well. It was 2 that went for Cal Poly, and then a streak of like 9. It can be done the same way by the Broncos.
It can be. The Broncos just have to dig deep inside of there. And you brought up hope. The good thing about hope, too, is that hope can win wars sometimes. And for the Broncos, they are in one of the bloodiest wars they've been in their entire esports career. Especially when you go up against Fisher. Number 2, collegiate Valorant rankings. They're sitting at number 33, which I think now, once again, a case to be made for them to start climbing that up a little bit more. Chipotle guy opening things up with a Rolling Thunder. And that is going to roll Rex Gator down into the ground. Tuesday has a share of hope and a dream. Those smokes are going to stop them from moving through. Smoking a lot of bullets coming through it. So with them sitting here, you're going to have to wonder what could happen next. We're going to have the Harbor ultimate throwing them all over the place. An alarm bot has been triggered. Focus on the other side of those revolving doors. And thankfully for Dory, he's still able to hit the shots. But Logan got thrown off. There was too many targets. The target acquisition was just a little bit too much for them to fight through. But we have Caloric, who's been the ringer, winning out so many times over and over again, but does not want to press their luck, wants to save their guns. It's all done here, but hopefully they don't get hunted down by Cake.
You know what the most fitting ult and skin combo is now? It's the Reckoning. Oh, a little bit of a tease, but it's the Reckoning and the DDR skin because you constantly have to move just back and forth. But talk about movement. We're going in the right direction if you are Pomona. You've been able to get 4, keeping Fisher within arm's reach. This is going to be a big round. Rex Gator is at least floating on the Odin. I don't know. I'm not a doctor. Not going to be too sure if they're going to keep that. Ult economy, Seekers, you got the lockdown, and you have a Viper's pick. They could outright deny sight. Only one right now. I mean, look how aggressive they're getting all the way up into mound. They're denying them that immediate position, and they're trying to encroach them in. They don't want to let them have anything for free coming into this round because they want to get this 12th.
And I love this, by the way, from Fisher. Deny space, take it away from them on Lotus, and really just prevent KJ from being able to set up their utility, because KJ kind of already has an idea that they're over there. How do you win that 2Z when you were using your utility? Still able to get the snake bite, pull out the Vandal, and get the kill, all without any help from anyone else. Neo wanted to take the slow peek. The slow peek ended up in a fast death. Now 2Z, 1 HP. Monkey Man, if I sneezed on them, even in their direction, they would die. Now, it's series point. Fisher, all they have to do is close things out here, and it's a really good possibility, especially with the economy of the Broncos.
It's very true. Also, I feel like Viper's maybe the one person at 1 HP that wouldn't die if they were sneezed on. Only because they're a doctor and they have a mask. That's about it. That's the only reason. You can think bad thoughts about them, they'd probably be mad. But Viper's also like very anti-personality into that. Regardless, this defense has stood up strong, stood up big. This is a discount buy if you were on the attack of the Broncos, but Cake is anything but a discount. They are a major investment. The Lear coming out, but the blind fire! Logan is able to get rid of them early, and they are gunned down immediately. Neo on that trade. They've put 2 away, and it is uphill running for the Broncos. You cannot be caught out weird. Pathfinder will be able to get a stun. They get that nibble, that bites onto the Omen. They are repelled backwards. Cloric stays alive. That has been a player that just simply won't quit, won't die, won't go away. That becomes a 3v3. This is to keep your title hopes up if you're the Broncos.
You got to do everything you can. Do not let Fisher walk away with this. They're going to have to walk away because there's a lockdown. Oh, that's really good. Mikey, a quick flick of the wrist, but couldn't get away in time. 2Z to trade out their compatriot. The snake bite tries to go in. Tries to deal some damage, maybe even let the rats get out of there and scurry away. Rex Skater using the Odin, just firing straight through the wall. You know they're hiding in there. It's all just about denial. Trying to see what you can do. Oh, it's Tuesday! Tuesday just sealed the deal here for Fisher. Monkey Man. Now you're looking at your ECAC champs.
Doozy? What a doozy. They send them back, they knock them down. Fisher College, congratulations. You can put yet another crown, another trophy, and a few extra medals on your chest, on your shoulders, and on your shelf as they collect that ECAC title for this awesome 2023 semester. Job well done to the Falcons, but a fight hard fought by the Broncos. There were some great shining moments, light, and honestly, just a lot of attempt to dethrone one of these upper echelon teams in Fisher. Cal Poly Pomona, they absolutely tested the Falcons over and over, but they passed overall with flying colors in a 3-1 series win.
3-1. We really got to highlight that, right, Monkey Man? They gave Fisher a run for their money a little bit here. And if you can take away a map from Fisher, that's kind of a victory in and of itself. This is a team that went through the entirety of the spring 2023 split completely undefeated. Perfection the entire way through. Not a single map dropped. Not since December at the very least. That was a whole nother year ago, a whole nother number ago. And so for the Broncos to come in and to be able to stand up to Fisher after let's be real, let's be honest with ourselves here, a disastrous first map of Haven that went nowhere in their favor, to come back, take it back on Fracture, and take a win, you got to give yourselves a pat on the back. And then Pearl to go kind of in the similar fashion, right? It didn't end up in a victory, but you still 13-11 them, right? So this, for the Broncos, is something that you can look forward to next season, to know that you can go toe-to-toe against a team like Fisher.
Yeah. This honestly may have come down just the tiniest bit. I'll give it a half an asterisk in terms of personnel change-ups. They did have Chipotle guy. I saw Haram in the chat. He was talking about how he had to go to class. So great prioritizing your academics, by the way. Making sure that you definitely do that even through the intern. But, you know, the woulda, coulda, shoulda, they're going to have to think about that going into a different competitive season. But it does look like that we are looking for an interview. So after a short break, Sam and I are going to be waiting, and you might have someone to talk to, as Fisher College and the gang will be waiting for us right after this.
There's a kid all the way down to the far end who has his keyboard all the way at like a horizontal.
That's really cool.
They're going to be at that table right over there.
Public information?
Oh, I don't know, but this isn't live, so it doesn't matter.
It's not live, but like you and I know.
Yeah, we know.
I'm not going to tweet it.
Awesome. What game do you play?
Smash Bros.
Who do you play? Is it embarrassing? Is it like Villager?
Yeah.
Is it Villager? Am I spot on? Oh my god. Is it the Ice Climbers?
No.
Is it Game & Watch?
No.
Is it Pichu?
No.
Is it Wario?
No.
I can keep going. I think I can name every character in the game. Is it, did I say the Ice Climbers already?
Yeah, you said them.
Is it them? No. Is it them a second time?
No.
Okay, alright. Oh, is it one of the Links?
Yes, it is.
Is it Toon Link?
It is.
Oh, that is pretty embarrassing. That is rough. Who do you play?
I'll give you $20 if you guess correctly right now.
First try? Give me a single hint.
It's an obscure character.
Obscure character.
Not played very often.
Is it Wii Fit Trainer?
Oh my god!
I'm the interviewer for a reason, baby. I do what I do. I don't need the money. I appreciate it, though. I appreciate it. So Bowser Jr., Wii Fit, and I forgot already. Are you all lying to me? Am I being gaslit? No. Bowser Jr., Wii Fit, and you told me already. Oh, Toon Link. Yep. Where's my main support at? Who are we playing this weekend?
A lot of Brig.
A lot of Brig, really?
Brig Lucio, probably.
Brig Lucio, really? I shouldn't say that too loud. I don't want to give all your strategies. It's over-under?
What do you mean over-under?
Like, do we think we're going to podium? Do we think we're going to come in last place?
Not last place.
Not last place?
Certainly not last.
What about, like, 5th place?
That's doable.
That's doable? That's winnable? 3rd place?
Third place.
That's where things get dicey?
That's very doable.
Okay.
First place? That's very doable.
First place, very doable. Love it. That's the mindset. That's what he loves to hear. Yeah. Oh my god. Hold on. Cut the cameras. Well, who are you? Hello. Oh my god. I saw you earlier. I saw the back of your shirt. And I was like, I know that name. I know him. It's a quick play game. They Q-sniped each other at land. I thought it was a scrim. It's just unlucky. Are you actually a Villager player?
Yeah.
How do you feel about Villager being notably worse in Smash Ultimate than they were in Smash 4?
I wouldn't know.
You wouldn't know? You never played Smash 4?
No.
Oh, that's all right. Nobody's going to hold that against you. Who do you play?
I play Robin.
Okay, wow. Did you know Robin has the lowest pick rate in the game?
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy? Come on, the LEDs, it looks just like Samus.
Huh?
Do you disagree?
I guess I can see
The
it.
Samus vibe. Show the controller to the camera. We're interviewing. This is recording, by the way. Surprise.
Not my controller.
Who do you play?
I play Peach.
Oh, wow, I like that. Who do you play?
I play the Shotos, mostly Kazuya.
No, you lose against Kirby. That's just like a statistics thing.
Yeah.
It's maybe.
This is a death match. I think they're all in the same one. They're all on Icebox. Are they all in the same death match? Maybe. Who knows? I feel like none of them can hear me. I want to like approach somebody, but no one can hear. They all have both their headphones on.
What's up?
How do we think we're doing?
I think we're doing pretty good. Yeah.
What's your KD?
We're looking at 10 and 6 right now.
Oh, hey, that's third, dude. That's better than I expected. Who's bottom frag right now? I want to go talk to them. Ian? Hey, how do you think we're doing so far?
You know, it could be better.
Could be better? You one of those rough days?
Well, you know.
Let's go find more people to harass. Yeah. Where's Boise State? Who's your favorite to play?
Oh, right now it's got to be either Chamber or Breach.
What country is Cypher from?
Oh, dude. It's Moroccan, right?
It is Morocco. Oh my God, I don't think anyone is gonna get that. Oh, you're good. You're good. All right, see you later. Let's go harass Boise State more. Who is this? What school is this? Boise?
This is Boise.
Oh man, that's okay. Boise's still got really good odds. A Large Bagel, one of their tank players, Nerdy Bird, they're off tank. Both of them not here. A little bit scary, if we're being honest. Getting warmed up, getting ready to cast some players. No, okay, not cast. Interview. Change your mindset. Change your mindset.
Words.
No, but last words until we come back.
Oh, okay.
Because we're leaving.
Enjoy.
Oh, that was good. That was good. Anything from you?
What are you doing, Polly?
Awesome. Thank you so much for your time.
That's why we're here, right? This is why a lot of people are trying to figure out, how do we replicate what you guys are doing? How do we, how do they do what you guys are doing to a degree, or why are you guys doing what you're doing to a degree? But to kind of, I think, focus in then a little bit more. I want to talk about gameplay a little bit before we jump into business and all of the other stuff. Jensen, this one's for you, right? I want to talk a little bit about this because to someone like me who's traditionally a League of Legends fan and all that, I know that you've been a coach that's been all over the world. You've worked with a lot of different professional teams and different regions. My question, I think a lot of people want to know, how did you end up at Maryville and why a North American collegiate college? What was the draw, or what brought you here? How did you get to this point?
When I first came to NA, I worked with Immortals, with the academy team, and I realized that there's a lot of cultural challenges that exist that's very unique to NA and esports, right? Where there's this very interesting intersection, because unlike traditional sports, in esports, players, they don't start training under a structure or a system or a coach. From a very early age, which is what happens if you want to pick up any other sport, right? Like you start going to community events or whatsoever, and then you start developing your skills.
Joining us from Fisher is going to be the great Rex Gator. First of all, Rex Gator, a big congratulations to you and the team for being able to take home that ECAC champion title. Listen, things got a little bit dicey there, though, right? Especially after that fracture map. What was kind of what was kind of going on through your minds? Where it was like, okay, that was a small misstep, but we're Fisher. We got this.
Yeah, we felt fine the entire time, but it was kind of just like that one map we were trolling a little bit too much, having too much fun, and then we had to dial back in, and I made sure everyone dialed back in after that.
I mean, you guys were dialing in the whole time, honestly. I mean, even when you're having fun, you're getting out there, and you're allowed to have fun when you're doing that well. Talking about you guys looking to the future, obviously you guys went through the LCQ and you were able to win the East, and you're looking really good heading into CECC. And for this conference title, what keeps you guys focused the most? You have a really good program. You're winning a lot of titles. How do you not let all the success get to your head?
Well, we're kind of looking as a team beyond just collegiate and all that, and we're looking towards the tier 2 scene. Recently we hit top 25 on VLR and NA, and we want to try and push into challengers and all that. So, and with that said, we're trying to win CCC and also CVAL.
Hey, that'd be awesome to see. And of course, I guess with some of that the premiere setup that's coming in, you guys will be trying to do even more of that. How do you guys handle the pressure? Because obviously you're working together as a squad. Do you guys get to do anything kind of separately just from the game? Do you go out and have fun, go to restaurants, do some other extracurriculars? Or is it just all Valorant all the time for the gang?
We do have like around 4 hours of just Valorant scrim time / VODs every single day, basically. And we have the tournaments as well, but we try and get out as much as we can and have fun as a team.
It's always good.
Absolutely. Always pivotal to be able to make that team building a thing. It's a reality, and that's what separates the great from the best. And with the way that Fisher was playing tonight, well, you guys definitely looked like the best. So one final question to ask you, Rex Gator. Is there anybody that you want to shout out?
I gotta shout out all my teammates. They're all cool, awesome, love them. Shout out to my manager right here. The camera.
Hey, here we go.
That's
We got a sneak peek from the manager. That's where all of the success stems from, right? Is a good manager. But anyways, Rex Gator, thank you so much. And once again, a big congratulations to you and of course to Fisher for your big win here. And looking forward to seeing what you guys do. Not only at ECAC, VAL, but also I'm very excited personally to see you guys in Challengers.
Of course, thank you so much for all that.
Absolutely. And that is going to be it for us here tonight. But make sure you go ahead and hit that follow button because we have much more programming that's going to be happening tomorrow. Speaking of which, tomorrow, we're going to have the ECAC Rocket League Finals, best of 7 at 8 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Fisher, wow, what a coincidence, versus Iona with Whoops You and Captain Ahsoka. And then ECAC Overwatch Finals, best of 7 at 9 p.m. with, you guessed it, Fisher versus Ball State with Septilence and Twin Salty. Monkey Man, is there any final thoughts that you want to give?
You know, this program is really good. Fisher is darn good, and they are really top of the stack. If there's anyone to measure by, it's them. It's teams like Northwood. You got to be able to overcome these titans of the game if you want to be the best at the game. And job well done. They did a 3-1. They took that ECAC championship title. Another belt to put into the closet to just hanging up with all the other trophies. And you know what? Winning is part of that program, and it's a part of their legacy, and they're making sure everyone knows about it.
Oh, everyone knows about it. Everyone is fearful of it now, especially after the dominance that this program across all different types of esports titles are having. But like I said, that is it for us tonight. Thank you all so much for watching. My name is Sam Toggs. Joining me is Hail Monkey Man. And of course, a big shout out to our production staff behind the scenes, Professor Layton and our observer, Rhino Vod, with whom without, well, Monkey Man and I would just be two dudes yelling at a camera, yelling at a microphone. Thank you all for watching, and we'll see you all on the next broadcast.
We're at the Collegiate Esports Commissioners Cup. Let's make some noise. Oh, and it's gonna jumped into it.
Corner judges go for 1, 2, yeah. He needs more.
They're doing even more here. You gotta touch the point. Mr. Collins walks it in.
Toy Boy just gonna drop.
Knife him.
Right out in front.
Yeah, 3, 2, 1, running.
Never break, always fight, never quit, do it right, play the game, win it life, have no shame, there's no time, feel the pain, live the grind, I could change, in my mind, pick a lane, commit and climb, the only way to win it life, I never miss that fact, taking big.
That's so cute. UCF, and it's really cute. So I'm gonna move down here. How do we feel? The odds for UCF? What are we thinking?
They got it. No, we got this. We got it. Go Knights. Charge on.
100%. My friend Nick is behind you. He's gonna record it. Don't look at him. You'll ruin the shot. Don't look at him. Come on.
Oh, let's go! Let's go!
My smile's probably really creepy. I was just being weird.
Oh, I love being in the shadows, though. Big shout out to the shadows.
We could interview Dilly just because I think he's handsome. You weren't supposed to hear.
Here's the thing about the event. I'm the greatest that's ever lived.
Literally true. I know him.
I think everyone knows that. I think everyone's aware of that.
Hey, do you have a VIP access badge on?
I actually have an all access.
Oh, an all access. I thought it said VIP access.
And that's only available for the best.
That's true. He's right. That's a main stage TO right there.
If this goes live, I'm suing everybody.
It's all right. A video of me. The first clip is me saying, "Don't put that in," and then it was the first. Cut the cameras. Cut the cameras. Oh, you're recording already? Great. So this is this is Bay State versus UCF. I believe something that we saw yesterday on day one of the tournament, but instead we're gonna have that run back here. I think they're fighting for a spot in Grand Finals. Anarchy, one of the best Greninja players in the United States, currently struggling against a Terry. Terry notorious for that DLC privilege, being a very strong character with some very strong abilities. Greninja, not so much, considered one of the weaker characters in the game. A Falco player, one of the best in the United States, and he just got spiked by a Terry. Same Terry that took out Anarchy literally minutes ago. UCF still up by 2 stocks. This guy is looking to rip this team apart single-handedly. That is, I mean, nuts, to say the very least. Absolutely absurd. That was a disgusting spike. I cannot believe that happened. Will you hold the microphone so I can sign this? Sorry.
For context, he's got a fan. He's actually signing something. He's so excited.
What was it like to not hear my voice for 2 minutes? For 30 seconds, maybe. What was it like? Probably bliss. I was signing a mouse pad, which is really cool. I've never done that before. Nobody's ever asked me for a signature, so I'm going to start blushing, but I'm really excited about that. And then he wants a picture. Can you take a picture of us? I said, is it bad? She went, no. I'm going to go ahead and take that as a yes.
Turns out I can't tie a tie sitting down.
What do you think is the appropriate face-to-screen ratio for a Valorant player?
Face to screen, like how close I sit?
Yeah, like how close should a player sit?
Personally, I play really, really close. I think it depends on your eyesight, but for me, I like playing close because it helps me focus on my crosshair.
Is the value of sitting close, the crosshair being the only thing in your line of sight?
Yeah, that's pretty much the main benefit of it.
It's so funny how close some of these guys sit. Oh my goodness. What do you think is the healthy face-to-screen distance for a Valorant player?
I think it's all kind of personal preference. I guess I would consider myself like pretty close when I play because I like to like zone in on my crosshair.
It is the second person to say that. It's all about the crosshair. And then what's up with the horizontal keyboard?
I don't know, like it just kind of fits like the form when I'm close to monitor. Like I don't know, it might sound cringy, but I like to like be one with my gun. You know?
No, bro, I feel it. I feel it absolutely. What is going on, everybody? I am here with some UCF fans. How are we feeling about UCF? Let's go! Let's go! We've got a bunch of UCF fans in the crowd right now.